Hello, salutations, what it do? It's Sadot the Gamer, all father Durag Nation. I was like, Scrap, let's get it. And welcome once again to the Aftershow podcast with myself, Sadot the Gamer. And I'm joined by the ghost of Casual Avenger. His real form is too busy eating deep dish, but we say what's up to him anyway. And I'm joined, of course, by JayShockblast. What's up?
You almost said I'm JayShockblast, and I know it.
Yeah, that definitely didn't occur to me.
The glasses came out of nowhere as well.
I wanted to surprise you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like next show I might be the one surprising everybody with glasses because apparently I need them.
Oh, I don't need these. Capcom just sent me these and a bunch of other stuff today. So I'm like, well, I might as well get some use out of them. Test them out for once.
Yeah, I'm just prepping. We're a week away from the early access beginning for Mortal Kombat 1. So I'm just
You're gonna need your
excited.
glasses so you don't get destroyed
I
online.
mean, I probably will, but I'm gonna do all the single player stuff. Like when I do Mortal Kombat like videos, they did really well for me in 11, and I did pretty well in some stuff on X. I just focus on like collectibles and where to find them and stuff like that, you know. So yeah,
What's up, chat? We got of course Eastwood. I believe he was first. Congratulations to Eastwood on being first this week. Usually it's Capte, but his crown has been taken from him. Better luck next time. Congratulations to old man Eastwood on the coveted title of first. We got Flip first, who was I believe fourth. We got Lil Z, Uncle Casual, Billy Finn. What's up, Arkham? Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. We're gonna talk some shit for a couple hours today. We're gonna be talking some Spider-Man 2, some Ahsoka season 1, episode 4, all this nonsense going on with Starfield, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about the live action One Piece. Mostly solo because Jay probably didn't watch it, and I finally finished it. So gonna talk about how awesome that is a little bit. So if you're new, subscribe. If you want to support us even further, hit that join, and you can it's !join for the command, and you can become a member, get access to the backstage. You get a shiny new backstage pass, which gives you some cool little channel perks like badges and emotes. We appreciate that. Otherwise, like, share, and all that good stuff. So let's get into the first story. We got we'll get into this because it's most relevant. Spider-Man 2 did some of that what they call marketing this week. And, this it was the fifth anniversary, 5 years since Spider-Man PS4.
that's crazy.
Crazy, still old yet, yeah. And they decided to celebrate this by releasing new posters for Spider-Man 2 every day, almost. And they also had a nice little live stream where they had the original voice cast, Najee Jeter, Yuri Lowenthal, and Laura Bailey come through, hang out, answer questions, while Aaron struggled greatly to not die every few minutes on Spider-Man Remastered. It was a good time. And apparently, this didn't count as marketing for some because people are still complaining about Spider-Man 2 and its lack of marketing, despite us literally just getting 19 inches of Venom
Yeah.
all up in our face.
I think my biggest issue right now, and I want to say from the beginning, this is not directed at any one person. This is directed at the conglomerate of people because it is not just one person. It is a lot of people that just like, oh, it's bad marketing. Like what they're asking for is actually fan service. Yeah, there's a part of it that's a little bit marketing, but they're asking for fan service. Those
Correct.
deep dives are not as much about marketing as much as they are about placating fans and giving them, something cool. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's great. I understand why people want that, but like they have a marketing plan. We are about 40 days away. I haven't seen Rock Rider's update.
That
That was
was the latest character poster from provided by Caboose.
yeah,
We're
exclusive.
currently 42 days away.
42. Okay. So like we're literally 42 days away. This is like what, 7 weeks? So or 6 weeks. So like this is the time frame that marketing starts to ramp up. I saw a Slight Stardust retweet that somebody went to see a movie and guess what they saw? A Spider-Man 2 trailer.
At the movies.
What? You mean marketing? That's the thing. They don't need to market this game to many people. The people they need to market it to are the people watching like the NFL football games or like I don't know, some other popular TV show.
That's
Like
Desperate Housewives.
yeah, like those are the people that are going to be on the fence. Do you really think that there are casual Spider-Man fans that don't know that Spider-Man 2 is coming out?
Yeah,
Do-
yeah. It's funny that people they just don't put two and two together. Every single person who has bitched about marketing has had the game pre-ordered since June.
They've sold through their peripherals. Like they've sold through them. You can't get the collectors, you can't get the controllers, you can't get the PlayStation. Well, you can actually get the PlayStation.
You
It's
still get
just
the PlayStation.
very hard. Okay. And the side plates, forget it. Those are gone. You know? So like that tells you all you need to know. There's no struggle here, all right? Like they can play it cool and they can release very little bits here and there. And we've seen some of these deep dives that we all that the devs probably thought they were going into it saying, "All right, people are going to be hyped for this." And what happens? Oh, suddenly we don't hear from Suicide Squad kills the Justice League for like half a year. You know? Like, and that game was about to like drop. And then suddenly it's like, oh, we'll see in a year, you know? So like there's no reason for it. And Spider-Man fans have not proven over time to be rational. Like,
Well, you mean their obsession with puddles?
yeah, like you know that there's
Like
gonna be
reality.
some weird little thing that they're gonna look at and they're gonna be like, ew, what is that?
Yeah, actually, they brought back water this time around as well, and the whole in previous years it was Puddlegate, it was the Raimi suit and
Facegate.
face gate. This time around, it's water physics, white the white lines on the advanced suit allegedly changing, even though it didn't. It's just metallic outline, so it changes depending on the lighting. It's just absolute nonsense, just fatherless behavior all around.
And I get it. And I get it. I understand. We're fans, right? Like the heart wants what it wants, and I understand that. Like people definitely are excited for the game. And I mean, I've literally got my game code right here. So like worst case scenario, if my collector's edition doesn't show up on time, I can use my brother's code that came with his PlayStation and we're good.
I don't got my game code, but I do got my controller.
Yeah, I got my controller somewhere too. I got my side plate. Like, dude, can I just say this though about the side plates? Um, can somebody explain to me why this white logo? All right, why this logo isn't the whole thing? Like, what's the point? Like, it's just this tiny little, like the minimal effort, right? Like these things were what, like $75?
Sounds
You
like hate, Mr. Shockwest.
you couldn't put the whole Spider-Man logo right there. I
Yeah,
don't know, man.
the Venom logo. Yeah, that would have been a cooler touch. Also would have been cool if they just continued the design on the front with like the partially red
Yeah,
being
I would have been fine
obscured
with
by the
that too.
black.
Somebody had. Oh, here it is. I don't know anything about these. Have you seen these?
They just announced. I saw this on the on the interwebs right when I was pulling up some articles. There we go. So yeah, D brand just launched their own.
I swear to God, if these things are freaking awesome, I'm going to be so mad. Eh,
Get a good look at it.
eh.
Hmm. Not seeing the Spider-Man theme here.
I think they're going for like the whole Venom look, but
Yeah,
I don't think they're authorized to actually
yeah,
put a logo on it.
yeah. This definitely gives me big. We have the PS5 Spider-Man 2 cover at home vibes. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not feeling that.
I mean, listen, if you're on a budget, you couldn't get the other ones.
I
Maybe they're
mean,
for you.
if
I
you
do
have
like the fan design.
if you're looking for a Spider-Man PS5 cover design because you missed out on the official ones, just go on Amazon. There's a bunch of really cool fan created ones.
Yeah.
These D brand ones are not it.
Let me just tell you, have you ever seen Greg Miller's side plate?
I have not.
Oh my god, he had Jim Lee draw it for him.
Well,
And it's like Superman.
that's a hell of a flex.
Yeah, that really is. Greg Miller Jim.
I didn't even like that.
I have my keyboard all like weird looking.
I wouldn't even say Carnage. It looks like if you went on Stream Elements and found like a custom overlay template for your PS5 plate designs. It looks generic as hell.
Hold on, get ready for this.
It's like red and black spiral template in Canva. Like it's hella generic.
All right.
I would not cop that. Oh, that's dope.
It's got his dog in it. It's got him in it. Like, I mean, that's pretty cool.
I would love. Oh yeah, I need some of that Greg Miller pool.
Yeah.
I need.
So, I don't know, but like, other than that, I mean, this is I still think these. It's nice. I wish that the red side like faced out for me, but it doesn't. So I don't know. That was my first takeaway though, and it's I know casuals and here comes the hate, but like I feel like for those
See,
they could have gone all out.
I didn't care about the plates. The way I have it. First of all, I can't even see the plates from where I am. Like when I have a view of them, all I can see is the red side.
Hold on.
Which look
let me put some reference here. There you go. There's my game code. Go for it.
Is Jay announcing his game code? Scratch here for pin.
Good luck.
Jay showing I actually saw someone leave a comment in my YouTube saying they were offering someone their copy of the code, but I don't think anyone took them up on it. If the collector's edition doesn't show up on time for me, I'm just waiting for I'm basically just relying on my rep at Sony to send me a review code early.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about the collector's edition.
Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. So I'm basically like I don't know if you saw this week, but
yes I do, casual.
um
I control Capcom's fleet of Predator drones.
Yeah, so Mortal Kombat doesn't come out until the 19th, and somebody got their hands on a Switch copy this week and leaked the roster essentially.
I saw.
And I'm sure that's going to be a situation with the game, like I'm sure there are going to be places that have them, and I'm going to find somebody, and I'll pay the toll, the tax, whatever I got to pay.
You already get yourself an unauthorized copy.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not gonna like advertise it.
Are you? I mean, you kind of just did.
Well, I'm gonna try to. That doesn't mean I will be able to. I don't even know where to look.
I mean, you're a WB guy. Are you even allowed to entertain that?
Why?
Well, I thought Ed Boon was going to send the goons at you.
I mean, I'm not talking about Mortal Kombat. I'm talking about Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man. Oh, well, you're definitely not going to get on Sony's good side if you do that. If you do that.
Right, but I'm not gonna like post anything. I'm gonna
Mm.
like, if I find it, I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna
Find one,
play it.
find one out. Find one that fell off the back of a truck.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm just gonna have all my content ready to go whenever the embargo drops.
Have some faith, Jay. I'm sure Sony will come through for you,
Well, I mean, apparently I'm shilling for them now, so
as you should.
yeah.
Sony
It
is
it
the
always cracks me up when somebody's like, "Oh, you're just, sucking their dick." Like, dude, I'm not getting a review code. I've never gotten anything from them. Why would I do that? You're just annoying.
yeah. The hallmark of internet argument, especially in the gaming space, is if they don't have an actual argument, they're going to accuse you of something, shilling
Yeah,
or be
yeah.
or fanboy or anything like that, which we got a lot of because of that game that you were heavily shilling for. Promoting Starfield. I mean, has the console war discourse ever been this toxic?
It's funny that like PlayStation fans finally can't have the thing, and this is what happens.
I want to push back on that because the first of all, the reviews are not from PlayStation fans. Like this, the amount of cope happening right now from Xbox players is hilarious. They've been coping pretty hard since Redfall and kind of putting all their hopes on Starfield being like the game that all the hype was building up to be, and then when it clearly wasn't, they they just feel like they just coped extra hard and are just blaming Sony. Starfield had a couple of controversies. So first you had the guy going on the pronoun rant about
With
about
Doctor Disrespect.
no
Oh, the other guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the ball guy as
Nobody needs to
something
know who he is.
something he had this whole rant about the wokeism in Starfield, which went massively viral, and everyone was talking about it. And then Starfield, at the same time, Starfield went became available for the general public, not just early access. And the reviews started coming in from the people who didn't have early access or weren't thanking Bethesda personally for their review copies, and unsurprisingly, the user scores weren't quite as high as the early access critic scores, not by a long shot. And immediately, Xbox players started blaming it on review bombing, which is just generic cope that we've seen a lot. Like every time something that's mediocre or bad that may or may not spark like some kind of culture war issue. Anytime that happens, it's review bombing. But the funny thing about that is we actually found out that a PR company has has been working on behalf of studios for at least the last 5 years to boost up review scores on Rotten Tomatoes by paying critics directly. and and if you look at the actual reviews that are negative on Starfield or even the positive ones, it's not PlayStation players. It's a bunch of we got a bunch of tens coming in from Xbox players who are explicitly saying it's because of their perception of negative reviews. But most of the negative reviews are just people who clearly have played the game and are disappointed. Like there aren't a bunch of reviews talking about pronouns or woke, or talking about L box or whatever. It's literally just people giving pretty much the same criticisms we've seen from Starfield from reviews like whether it's PC Mag or IGN or Game Informer, or just a bunch of people have had similar issues with Starfield. You have some PC players complaining about the performance, which Todd Howard said, skill issue, upgrade your PC. Who cares about optimization? just buy a bigger PC, like, which was crazy to say, but but you have people.
Well, everybody has a phone,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but you have people.
Same people.
Yeah, but you have
No,
people.
no, never mind. I'm sorry. That was not the same people.
Nice
My
try.
bad.
But yeah, but you have people complaining about the emptiness, how it's not, how they don't like all the loading screens. They don't how
That's fair.
the dumb NPCs. They feel like the graphics aren't up to par. They feel like
Graphics are fine.
the stories a bit too on rails. Like there's a PC Mag article that came out that compared it to Baldur's Gate 3, and talk about how comparatively Baldur's Gate 3 has a lot more depth, particularly when it comes to story, the type of character you can be. Their point was basically because Baldur's Gate 3 is smaller, it packed a lot more depth into its story and character creation and everything like that, rather than Starfield, which is big but fairly shallow. I mean, this
I
is a.
don't agree with that at all. It is definitely not shallow. There is so much you can do.
I mean,
Like,
I've been watching a lot of the stuff, and for the most part, the only thing I've seen remotely interesting is collect hoarding potatoes and stuffing them in your ship. like,
I
like
mean, so here's the thing. Let's talk about our solar system for a second here. Have you seen the Mars rover?
yeah,
Okay. What has the Mars rover ever found? Rocks. Okay. So the idea that there's like all these galaxies and all these planets you can go to, and a lot of them are barren and there's not much there, it it shouldn't, like, that's kind of real, like,
Jay, you realize it's a video game, right?
I understand that, but there's plenty of places you can go where there are plenty of things to do and plenty of opportunity for story. I have like accidentally found like amazing long quests, and there's like I think 10 different factions you can join. Like I'm currently on this long mission between the Vanguard and the Crimson Fleet, where it's like pirates fighting the Space Navy, and I'm infiltrating them. And there's just all these little things I'm finding along the way. It is like so cool. And sure, there is a main storyline quest, but you don't even have to like do that. Like I've gone like so far off track. I probably have over 40 hours into the game, and I have barely done the main story quest. So like there's so much actual stuff to do, and it's not that hard to find it. So I don't know, like I honestly I don't feel like I'm in any kind of an Xbox bubble, because like honestly a lot of the people are the people that I know, and I haven't seen like I haven't seen this negative like wave or anything. Like
I mean, I've seen a,
literally everybody I've talked to has just loved it. There were some valid criticisms there though. The load screens are extremely long, and I don't understand that.
I've seen a lot. See, for me in the circle that I've seen where it's overwhelmingly positive for towards Starfield, it's pretty much everyone who got a review code. And but just scrolling through the general discourse, it seems there's like a lot. There are people who enjoy the game for like it's mid. It's a nice Game Pass game. Then there are people who loved it. Then there are people who feel like they're really trying to overcompensate by saying, "Oh, it's the best. Oh, you're just a hater." Like they pounce on any criticism whatsoever. It's actually giving. The funny thing, Starfield is actually giving me first week Marvel's Avengers vibes with the
Eh,
discourse around it,
maybe the discourse. It's definitely
because
way better than that. Like
not just a one to one, but in terms of like the critic scores way below what was projected, user scores much lower.
what was
You,
projected?
I mean, Marvel's Avengers was like a massively hyped
Oh, I
game.
thought you were talking about
Yeah,
Starfield.
yeah, no. Starfield, people were expecting like 9.4, 9.5, 9.9s on Metascore. Like that was the expectation. This was People were literally saying game of the century, game of the
Uh,
year. They were expecting like Metacritic scores in the nines approaching 10.
it's a legitimate game of the year contender for sure. Like, I don't say that lightly. Like, it is absolutely a game of the year contender. It won't win. Like, there are definitely gonna be games that are better, but like, it is legitimately a game of the year contender. And 87 on Metacritic is a really good score.
It is. It's definitely a good score, but it's definitely not. What they like. This is Spider-Man PS4, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That's that range. It's like you're in the running, but the critics aren't going to give it to you.
No, and I honestly, I never expected that, to be completely honest. I actually, and maybe it's because I expected people to just trash it. Maybe it's because I'm like still going through the Redfall. What's the word I'm looking for? Like
Cope.
shell shock, I guess. Uh, like I expected this to get way worse scores, you know. I am actually really surprised at just how much people love it. And people that are like Greg Miller, for instance, is a PlayStation guy and he loves the game, you know? And like I know that like people like I look at Greg Miller, I feel like he's usually really fair. And I feel like, you know, stuff like that, it's a good example of like this is what gaming is supposed to be like. There's not supposed to be sides. I wish that people on PlayStation could play it. You know, it sucks. I don't like the fact that this is locked on Xbox as much as I don't like that Spider-Man is locked on PlayStation. Like, but the reality is that like I love this game. Like,
I honestly don't mind. In this particular, I was considering getting an Xbox or a Samsung Game Hub, and then the more I saw, the more I was like, this definitely doesn't feel like I need to rush out and spend $500.
and I actually think that's fair, okay? Because like it's out, it's always going to be there. Get to it when you can. Like I don't think everybody has to be in that first wave of people. But as somebody that has played a lot of Bethesda games, like, and I truly do love their games. Like this is like honestly exactly what I expected. Like to say it's space Fallout is not an insult. Like
Do you think it's the best Bethesda game?
I don't know, like I haven't gotten far enough, you know, like
You're 40 hours in.
yeah, but
how
like
do, how does it compare to the 40 hours of some of the other Bethesdas or
I
something?
think it's the
Or,
best made game. I've had zero real issues. Like
so
maybe I had like one person teleport into place,
so
but
bug so not bug yeah that's what they
it
said,
is
the least buggy
definitely the
Bethesda.
least buggy Bethesda game ever released. Like it has actually been very smooth. My main complaint is that the load screens are definitely a tad long. Uh, dude, a lot of Pierce was in that same Armored Core video with me.
Yeah,
Like she
didn't you
literally
didn't,
commented in that video.
didn't she fly through didn't wasn't she one of the first that tried to fly through a planet?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was a little bit like when I saw
Pe-
when I saw what happens when you're flying through space and you try to land on a planet just without fast travel. I was like, what is this?
yeah, the planet, like the space travel, it's I would say that would be something where I would understand if people were
Yeah,
disappointed. Like
like
I don't know
that's
if you
that
saw Dr. Disrespect get like smacked up like every time he tried to fight. I think I know exactly what mission he was doing, and it was like you were kind of not meant to attack those ships.
right.
Like the your companion tells you, "Hey, you should probably sneak up and get the data and book it and leave them alone."
So it's pretty on rails in that regard. Like there's basically no.
Well, it was like
It's been,
one of the very first missions that you do, and you're just learning how to pilot in general.
it's basically so that's part of the tutorial level basically
Yeah, like
first 2 hours first two
so
hours basically tutorial.
so I kind of feel like that was a little unfair and a skill issue. Um, Imagine hitting Doctor Disrespect with skill issue, but
Yeah.
that's really like I honestly like I look at like Free Willy Rocks is commenting, right? All right, he started off in my streams and he was like, I don't know if I want to get this, and then it turned into I'm gonna try it on Game Pass. This does look kind of cool. And then it turned into he bought the freaking watch edition. Like
But it's fine.
I just saw it on Discord. He just posted that he got the $300 version of the game. Like,
Which is great. I'm glad there are people legitimately
yeah,
enjoying it. I'm just not going to be one of them
and
because
that's
I
fine.
when it comes to my space exploration, I take it very seriously. And I'm like, I got No Man's Sky on my system. I don't need to.
I
I
don't
need
think
to do
it's even fair to compare those two games either, though. Like in 5 years, like how long did No Man's Sky come out? Like if when Starfield gets to that time frame, you don't think that it's gonna like
I
have
think that
improved significantly by then?
are like by improve significantly. Do you mean like they're just going to remake the game, or you're talking about PC mods? Like relying on the PC mods. I don't think Xbox is going to do anything substantial, but I think the PC mods, the quality is going to determine just how great it is. Like Skyrim, became Skyrim largely because of the modding community.
I was at Skyrim opening night
No,
at
no,
GameStop.
like you know what I mean. Like Skyrim was obviously well received, obviously bugs aside, but Skyrim really took on a life of its own because of the modding community. Like they basically turned it into a completely different game.
I mean, I don't know if I agree with that because, like I said, I went to like the midnight opening for that, and like I literally had to, like, it was one of the few games I ever had to like wait down the block because the line was so long. But I mean, that was also the days when that was a thing, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Again, not disputing that people were excited about Skyrim at launch. I'm literally just talking about the longevity and at what and how people view the game long term. Like the modding community greatly expanded the quality enjoyment of that franchise,
Yeah,
and
but you
it
could
took
say
on
that
life.
about Grand Theft Auto 5 too.
Yeah, because it's true. Like the modding really. I mean, GTA obviously was great at launch, but GTA Online is really was more so what was responsible for its longevity, not the modding community in that particular instance. You had this really huge, experience, and then they added this whole live service online component that just took on a life of its own and carried Rockstar to billions of
Yeah.
dollars
I'll say this
every
though, the
year.
mods are definitely going to go to Xbox. Like I modded on Fallout 4, you know, and I
I
can
hope,
mod.
I hope so, but yeah, just the idea that I that we're getting we have a current gen exclusive space exploration game where you can't even get in your ship and seamlessly leave the atmosphere. It's crazy to me. Like that, like I would never buy that.
eh,
I would never
I
buy it.
I mean,
Like flying through space and coming across a moon and then flying through it and glitching through it. Like that ruins my immersion. Like I don't want to be sitting in loading screens. I don't want to be doing fast travel the entire time. I wanted a legitimate space exploration RPG.
but the
And
game remembers what's happening every place in the
that's
game.
that's cute, but I would rather be able to seamlessly take off and land on planets and moons rather
I
than be
mean,
able to
that's just not what
rather
I
than stack potatoes.
I understand that.
I don't give a shit about stacking potatoes and sandwiches
But
in
it's
my
not even
ship.
just that though. Like it's like literally anything. Like there's so many ways you can approach the game. Like you can build out your own settlement and like it has to remember everything that you built, where you built it, which system, what's going on
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Like just
yeah. All that sounds good, but No Man's Sky has basically infinite planets. It has full exploration through space. It's got you can build settlements. It's multiplayer. It's on all platforms, and it didn't and it had a small team with a relatively small budget,
yeah, but it's all like procedurally generated though.
but it still looks great. And we're talking about
That's fine. No
and we're
one
talking
disputes that.
about Bethesda, 500 developers, 6 years, 200 million, at least 200
They're
million
just not doing
dollars.
the same thing. That doesn't make it.
I was expecting more. Is what
I
I is my
I have to be honest with you. I don't think it's fair to compare No Man's Sky and Starfield. I feel like that's like, comparing like
You're right, because
Star Trek and Star Wars.
Starfield was pit. I mean, those are fair comparisons. But that aside, I feel like Starfield was pitched as this huge, just huge space exploration game, and it's really just a looter shooter that takes place in space.
I mean, there's definitely much more nuance to it, but
I mean, that's basically what it.
you
I
sound
mean,
like you
that's
need
basically what it
some
is.
like some copium. I mean, like you sound like you're just a little. I don't know, not 100% in denial, but like to be fair, like
I'm not. I have no reason to be in denial. Like I've been openly saying I was considering getting Xbox so I could play the game, and after watching a bunch of people play it, I mean, going back to all the leaks and everything like that, and watching people stream it, I'm not remotely impressed enough to spend 400 or whatever dollars on an Xbox.
I believe it's a system seller. Maybe not for everybody. That's
Yeah,
fine. Like
it's perfectly fine if people are enjoying this game, but I don't think it's cope or anything at all to point out that this game definitely is not like this huge exploration thing because
yeah,
it has a lot of just immersion breaking stuff that I think shouldn't really be in a game that's current gen exclusive. I don't get that.
complaining about those puddles again. I see.
I mean, I think it's a pretty massive difference between complaining about a puddle on a construction site and pointing out that a current gen exclusive has an obscene amount of loading screens and is a space exploration game where you can't actually explore space. You're just fast traveling. Like,
I mean,
I think that's a pretty fair.
you're
I don't think that in Puddlegate is remotely comparable.
space exploration is a broad term. You're still exploring space.
You're exploring
Maybe
space.
not the way that like
You're exploring space as much as you are in Jedi Survivor, or or Outlaw. Like you get some space, get some space combat missions, but you're literally just fast traveling to different planets. And even then, you don't because of the limitations they have to set. You don't even have you only have vehicles because you're going to run into boundaries and have to fast travel to different parts of the. Like, come on.
there's never been vehicles in any like maybe you've had mounts in like the
Yeah,
Elder Scrolls, but
yeah,
like
because that's Elder Scrolls. You don't expect vehicles in a medieval game, but we're talking about a space exploration game. You have a spaceship. You don't think they would have ground vehicles for space exploration, Jay? What
well,
are we talking about?
why are we using ground vehicles in space?
Because you're on a planet, Jay. What do you mean? Part of space exploration is exploring the planets that you find, and I guarantee you, when Elon Musk figures out interstellar travel, they're not going to send humans to walk across the fucking planets
I mean,
that they're
maybe
exploring.
I'm just used to it. Okay, I'm just used to it because I've played Fallout since New Vegas, or Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, Fallout
Yeah, it's
76.
perfectly
Like,
reasonable to it's fine to walk around walk around your post-apocalyptic world, but we're talking about a space exploration game where you're going through whole planets and there are no vehicles. No vehicles. Like, it's weird.
I at a surface level, I understand where you're coming
I
from,
know why
but like,
they
I
did it.
do feel like it's a
they
little
want to.
nitpicky.
It's not remotely. It's weird, but I know why they did it. They did it because they want to expand the time that you're on the game, which is fair.
When you find a point, you can literally fast travel point to point to point to point.
I mean, you have to because otherwise, if you did have a vehicle, you would run into the invisible boundary wall in like five in like a few in like a few minutes anyway.
Well, there's
That's
not like
another way I understand.
roads. Like there's literally like like barriers like in the surface. Like there's rocks. There's like not all the terrains are the same. Like it's not like it's meant for. It's such
Yeah,
a like
it's
I
not meant for a Jeep, Jay. But I'm sure if you're capable of interstellar travel, you can come up with a vehicle that's capable of exploring terrain. Destiny 2 has it. I think they could figure it. I think they can figure out something.
I just don't think it's necessary, and most people that have played this game or any of the others just kind of understand that. I mean, I'm not disputing that. Sure, it'd be cool if there was a freaking sparrow, but like I feel like it defeats the purpose of what you're doing. Like the purpose of the travel between points is to explore all the minerals that are there, to explore all the different life forms,
you can
all the
do
different
you can
vegetation.
you can do all that with a vehicle, but the reason why is because of the way they had to design the planet, probably because of their engine. They had to basically put it they had to basically divide it into sectors instead of making it fully explorable.
Well, I've had no issues, and most people playing it have had no issues. And
I mean, not
I'm
based off
I'm
not
not
based off their
disputing
user scores. More
80
than more.
87 Metascore.
I mean, those are
I
those
don't
are
believe that
those are
5.5 is a review
critics.
bombing.
Those are
Those,
critics. Those
those
are 50,
5.5 isn't real.
57 critics collectively. It comes to an 87.
5.5 isn't real.
3,000 people.
That's absolute review bombing.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolute review bombing.
yeah.
You're
Is review bombing from people who are giving it tens because they think PlayStation players are creating like there's literally
no, there's definitely like
there's
there's some
literally an
bad.
X. There's literally people complaining about reviews in the Xbox app, saying that that PlayStation players are signing up for Game Pass just to leave negative Starfield reviews. It's absolute cope. Nobody with a PlayStation gives a shit about Starfield.
Yeah,
All,
that's
all
actually not true.
the overwhelming negative reviews for Starfield are, and they're not even like one. We're not even talking about ones and threes. It's a lot of fives, sixes, fours
I
for
haven't
people
seen
who
it.
legitimately we're literally looking at it. Like there are a lot
No,
of
those
people.
user scores, those are bogus. Like
That sounds like absolute cope, Jay.
you sound like absolute cope.
That's absolute cope, Jay.
Like all that we've learned from this is that the PlayStation guy is going to sit here and say the Xbox guys are coping, and the Xbox guy is going to sit here and say, "Well, yep, PlayStation guys are sad. They finally can't play a game,
Yeah,
and look at how they handle it very
the
poorly."
the Xbox guy who got the game 2 weeks early from Bethesda is 100% non-biased and saying criticisms is cope.
I
Shocking,
criticized Redfall,
shocking.
and they flew me to New York City.
Did you?
Yeah,
I, I
absolutely.
I was at that Redfall stream. I didn't hear a lot of criticism.
I I like the game.
You like
It's
the game,
just
which is fine, but come
but it
on.
was definitely very like we sat there and like had a hard time finding anything to do. So yeah,
I'm not seeing a lot of PlayStation hate. I'm seeing a lot of I just didn't like the game. It didn't live up to my expectations, which is
there was
apparent.
like every negative review there was not in English. You didn't see anything.
Okay,
Oh, there's one finally.
start. What do you mean? Finally, we want to go through. Let's go through some of these, Jay. Let's go through some of these reviews and see. And let's start by most helpful. That's a good rank. So most helpful. Where do I begin? I was so excited when I saw the last gameplay presentation, and I thought, finally, it's a good space exploration RPG. Boy, was I wrong. After spending about 20 hours with this trash, I gotta say this is the worst game I've played in a while.
They're stupid. No
Boring
way.
fetch quests that don't make
No
any
way.
sense. Time-consuming, boring tasks for the sake of extending the boring, uninspired, empty gameplay. Did I mention there are no vehicles while exploring planets? That's right. We don't have the technology to have a vehicle to move around and explore when landing on a different planet.
Get a better
Insane.
computer.
Have to run on foot. Your O2 runs out in 30 seconds. You have to walk everywhere. It's beyond dumb. You walk for 10
No,
to
this
15 minutes
is
until you see something or find something useful. Major waste of time.
bait.
Just to inflate their gameplay numbers. Horrible NPCs and enemy friendly AI. NPCs would get stuck in the
This is
environment all the
bait.
time. They would float and clip through floors or ceilings. Glitches, bugs, and crashes all the time. Missing basic
Literally
PC
never had a
features.
single crash.
This is the user PC reviews. Missing
Bad
basic
PC. That
PC
probably
features
explains
such as
everything.
HDR support, FOV slider, texture quality setting, outdated graphics / animations.
Not outdated at all. It looks great.
The sound design appears to be pretty good, but that's about it.
Ugly characters. My God.
The game was misrepresented in a huge way. They basically lied to us when they said you can go anywhere, explore everything. It's not true at all. You only have set points where you can jump with your ship, and for planet exploration,
24 out of
empty worlds.
33 PlayStation users found this helpful.
Yeah, that sounds like us. All right, let's look at what that's more. That was a little aggressive. The more I played, the worse it got. I initially gave it an out of 10. Now I'm down to a 6 out of 10. It is just empty. I think if they added more intelligent alien races to discover, vehicles like hovercrafts or dune buggies to explore planet surfaces and flying in the atmosphere, the exploration part would have been much better. Also, why can't I swim underwater? It's so immersion.
Oh, immersion! It can't swim underwater.
The
There's
amount
like
of cope,
literally like
Jay.
nowhere to. There,
The,
I found
the
one
amount of
place that
cope
you
is
can swim.
crazy,
One
Jay.
place you can swim. It's a fucking pool on the opening planet. I haven't found anywhere else you could even swim.
I'm a lover of RPGs and Fallout, but I have to
Game
admit
is unplayable.
the loading screens are just stupidly annoying.
Imagine saying a game is unplayable when people are like literally putting millions of hours into it. Please.
Loading screen. Sorry.
Loading screens are a valid complaint. Take too long.
Oh boy, yeah. I'm not a fanboy. I play on all platforms. This game is just not enjoyable. Hopefully, modders can salvage it in a year or two. Not sure how Bethesda managed to make discovering universes so lifeless and monotonous.
Like, I really just
most of
do
the scoring
not.
plays out
There's
like
no
this.
way. These
Most
people
of-
are not playing the same game as
Most of
me.
the exploration plays like this: enter your ship, loading screen, sit at console and take off.
You don't even have to do that. He's stupid.
Loading screen. Select landing site on planet, loading screen. As a ship, loading screen. Explore, procedurally generated planet. Kill a few bugs to scan some planet rocks. Fast travel back to ship, loading screen.
This is how I know this person is stupid. This is how I know this person is stupid. You can literally go into your quest log, click the quest you want to do, show on map, and go there. Like nothing else. You don't have to go do any of that shit. But immersion. Immersion.
Hashtag sponsorship.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored.
Ad.
Send me a game code. Lots of companies have sent me game codes.
Bro, the code. Just admit, Jay. People
no,
didn't
these
like
people
the
are
game.
fucking stupid. These people are fucking stupid.
They didn't like the game, Jay.
They don't even know how to use the menu properly. Like you literally can go into your quest log and say, show, go there, done.
Sounds
don't
like
have to do any of that shit.
Sounds like cope, Jay.
Stupid people. Yeah, okay. Those are all fake. You're fake news. This is nonsense. Like honestly, until 49 minutes ago, I had never seen any of that. Okay? Everything has been filled with people loving and enjoying the game. I am shocked by that.
Let's try the Xbox reviews. Those are better. 6.3 user score.
Bombing.
Yeah. Speaking of bombing, yeah. Let's look at this.
I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 either. By
10
the way,
out of 10. Wow, such an amazing game. I am amazed with this smooth gameplay and graphics. For me, it's a game of the year contender.
It is a game of the year contender.
10. Oh, 1. All right. Let's
you can't take any 1 or 0 seriously. As much as you can't take a 10 seriously.
Let's sort by most useful once again. Let's see.
All the negative scores that PlayStation users upvoted.
Most helpful. All right. So so the most helpful, a 10 out of 10. Awesome game. Classic Bethesda in space. Bought an Xbox just for this game. Hopefully DLC is on the way. 10 out of 10, 5 years after its first announcement and almost 7 years in active development. Starfield is here and it's ambitious as Bethesda promised. This definitely sounds like PR. Huge game with tons of activities. It's almost overwhelmingly big game. Another pillar added to their already genre-defying RPGs. Starfield is a must-play for all Western RPG fans. It's a epic. These are in English. This one's a 5. Super addictive and runs awesome on Series X. That's the Fencer title, Best RPG Creators.
That really sounds like a 5, doesn't it?
Leave the hype. This one sure say somehow 5. That's definitely felt like an IGN. The Smudge, 9 out of 10. Been playing since early release. I can say that you find to be what you expect from Bethesda. Being set not in the continent, planet or solar system, but universe makes fast travel system not necessary. Very helpful side question. Where is that? Much like every other Bethesda game. an amazing experience. 10 out of 10. Just keeps on giving. Truly a game that will last for
Again,
years with
I don't agree
endless
with anything
content.
being a 10 out
This
of
is a
10.
special game.
It is a special game.
10 out of 10. I have now sunk 40 hours in the game. If you love Bethesda's games of the past, you treat this Fire on Barrels once again have delivered another RPG masterpiece, a true space odyssey. I will be playing the game for many, many hours as I explore every one. I think it meant ounce of the universe that made for us to explore. From its handcrafted cities brimming with amazing quest lines to the AI generated planets you can use to build resources areas to explore by foot before jumping into your ship and taking on space fights, fighting off enemies to reading with merchants. There's truly something for everyone. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, Jay.
It's not a 10 out of 10.
This is the game Xbox needed. Not for
It is.
everyone.
It is.
9 out of 10. This one we got a 5. There's a fundamental lack of creativity and risk taking here. The game is disappointing not because it fails at materializing its vision, but because of how poor the vision is in the first place. Technically speaking, there's no space exploration to be found anywhere. Rather, an endless kind of, I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to be, of ad nauseum loading screen at Fetch Quest. Doesn't have a problem. Where are the talents? Where are the visionaries and innovators? So not innovative enough. 10 for sure, the best game of 2023 and the best RPG of the decade. I'll say Starfield's better than Fallout 4. I'm very excited to see how Elder Scrolls looks. My Xbox is ready. 10 out, 10 out, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. But those are all legitimate, of course. Five, no sense of exploration. Very dated characters. Feels like a 10-year-old game. Maps suck, inventory suck. I found the quest very boring as well. Oh, and loading screen after loading screen. 10 out of 10. Loved it. One of the best games of all time. It's getting a lot of hate because of the console war, but it is an amazing game. Just play it. Come on. Review Bobby.
You have twitter.com. Like, it's out there. You've seen it.
So you're saying there when you say review bombing, by that do you mean there are people who are giving it 10s because of just absolute console war cope? Or are you going to admit that not all the people who are giving it 5s
I haven't agreed with a single 10
players.
that you've said so far.
But you're not saying
time you said
but you're
10,
not saying fake review bomb. Fake,
no, I'm
fake,
seeing people that are fans of the game because this happens with every game. It happens with Zelda. Okay, everybody gives Zelda 10 out of 10 just because the word Zelda is in the game. Like this happens. Like, people enjoy their things. Okay, but I do not buy. Most of these people don't understand what these Bethesda games are. Like, do you buy Spider-Man expect it to be fucking Naruto? I hope I said that very annoyingly.
No, that's accurate. That's accurate. No, I bought Spider when I buy Spider-Man, I expected an open world superhero action game, and it would be weird if Spider-Man couldn't web swing and you had to sprint everywhere.
Right, but like, this game is more like Mass Effect than it is No Man's Sky.
Imagine you buy Spider-Man 2 and instead of swinging through New York to exploring the different boroughs, you can run for a little bit and then you fast travel to fucking Brooklyn. Come on, bro. What are we talking about? Talking about?
But like, you act like this is the only space game that's ever done this. Like, just because No Man's Sky has done it the way that they did it, where there's like literally no point to the game other than that, like, doesn't mean this game had to be No Man's Sky.
It could have been. It should have been better. It should have been No Man's.
But like, that's the thing. Like, if you're looking for just that, then I understand why you don't like it, and that sucks for you. But that's not what the game is.
I wanted the immersion of No Man's Sky with the storytelling and the huge RPG nonsense of Bethesda. Like I wanted true space exploration. You don't need infinite procedurally generated planets, but the fact that you can't even go from space. You have to fast travel to your planets because you're going to glitch through the moon or the planet if you try to approach it. It's crazy, bro.
Well, I don't think that's why you have to do it. I think that happens because that's not what they intended.
Yeah, which is if they could have done better and they chose not to, that's even worse.
But what if they couldn't? What if the amount of bandwidth necessary was just too much?
How could No Man's Sky do it with a fraction of their
I'm sorry,
devs and their money?
I don't think No Man's Sky is
Come
like
on.
insane. Because No Man's Sky isn't like remembering where every fucking potato is, okay?
I don't care about potatoes, Jay.
I don't either. But for better or worse, that is what Bethesda does, okay? You're asking Bethesda
to innovate, to evolve.
But no, they make the games they make, and they are evolving. This is definitely not a shot-for-shot remake of their other games. They are doing things a little bit different.
Because it's in space.
Well, but yes, but like there's other things. They've never done starships before.
Because it's in space.
They've never done that before.
Because it's in space. That's not innovation. That's not innovation, Jay.
Whatever. You're.
That's not innovation.
This is pointless. No, you're dumb. I'm sorry.
That's like innovate.
You haven't even played the game. Play the game.
Making a space
I'll
game
talk to you when you play the
innovation.
Game. Next.
How is that innovation, Jay?
Nah,
how's that innovation?
Next.
That's like saying Suicide Squad is innovative because we've never had a four-player superhero game.
You're shifting the goalposts. Before it was it's not what I wanted, it's not what I expected, and now it's not innovative.
How is that innovative?
You're shifting the goalposts.
I'm not shifting.
You are. Because now it's just not innovative. It's not innovative enough.
I didn't say anything about innovation.
You said it.
You said it's innovative.
I did not.
You did it. You literally just.
I did not say it was innovative because I don't think that.
You said it. You just said it. You said
casual ass. Hold on. Shut up.
It's in space.
Shut up.
You shut up.
Jay, as a person with intention to play Starfield since this announcement, what expectations did you have for this game? I expected Fallout in space.
Fallout in space. Perfectly fine expectation, Jay. But to pretend like this is like some crazy innovative experience because it takes place.
I never said that.
That's crazy. You literally just did.
Bullshit.
You said innovative in space, and
I did not say it was innovative.
And I said that's not that innovative.
If that's what
you said, they never had. You said they never had. They never had a space game before. You said they never.
Yes, they've never had a space game before. That doesn't mean it's like massively innovative. It's different. That's what I was implying.
That's why I'm like, it's not that. Who cares? Yes, it's technically different because it takes place in space. Okay. I literally said that, and then he was like, "Oh, they never had starships before." I said, "Yes, because it's a space game. We know that's not."
Yes,
that's
I did not specifically say it was innovative, but like to say there's not innovation is disingenuous at best. Anyway, I'm done with this.
Where's the massive
I'm done with
innovation?
This. You value our friendship. We're done with this conversation.
Are you really getting emotional?
No, because this is stupid.
Over Starfield? We're having a podcast.
No, man, this is stupid.
Hold the fuck up. All right, now I let some shit slide, but hold up. I remember vividly, Jay, when you and this is peeling back the curtain a bit. I remember vividly where you expressed how frustrated you were when you were having certain conversations with certain content creators that we have in common, where you felt some type of way because they said, "Oh, well, if you value our friendship, you'll drop this topic."
I don't think this is the same. I think you're intentionally piling on to annoy me.
No, Jay. You first of all,
that's what you do.
You don't work for Bethesda. You should not be. You should not be involved. I know. I'm not. I know you get a lot of favors from them, but you don't work there.
I don't. You're right. I'm not. You asked me what I thought of this game. I gave it an 8.
Jay, we're doing a podcast where we're discussing and debating and talking about a particular video game.
You having never played said video game.
I gave my opinion.
I gave you credit for.
I gave my opinion about the game.
Well, let me find something else negative to say about it. Let's keep going. Let's drive a little bit further because Jay is annoyed, obviously, and that's what's annoying me more than anything you're saying about this.
I thought you were playing it up at first until you started getting completely disrespectful and out of line, which I let go because I thought because first I thought, oh, it's a bit, it's for the show. Then you start telling me to shut up and all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, well, maybe he's getting a little emotional. I don't know why. It's just a podcast. Why are you defending this game so hard?
It's not even about that. It's about the fact that you're literally pulling. You're being the Sadot. You're like, oh, I'm Sadot. I can't be wrong. I'm good. Yeah, no, Jay, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. No. Clearly, you're coping. Oh, the Xbox guy is coping. It's all the Xbox guys. Man,
that's literally you.
No,
what do you mean?
Literally you.
You literally did that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, these reviews are fake. So these reviews are fake. It's review bombing. You're a PlayStation fanboy.
Right.
I didn't say any. You went there, Jay. Right, you went there first. Oh, we got a special guest, and then you were like, if you value your friendship, you talk. Get that bullshit out of here, motherfucker. What do you mean we value your friendship?
No, because
you pulled that same shit with a High Ruler and got mad about it because you thought High Ruler was being immature because he was ready to end. He was particularly ready to end their friendship because you had a minor disagreement. It's a fucking video game. Who cares about Starfield at the end of the day?
I said if you care about our friendship because you're not I feel like right now you're pushing things personally.
You pushed it personally.
No, because I've asked to move. No, because I've asked to move on because I feel like this is something we can sort out after the fact, not because I just there's no point in this. There's no fucking point in this.
First of all, a lot of people, the chat wasn't enjoying the debate. That's why I was talking.
No, because you were doing the bit,
and then you got emotional about it for no reason, and talk about bringing up friendships and shit.
Right.
Bro, it's a fucking video game.
Okay, are we good?
No, we're not good. We got casual in here.
Okay, cool.
What do you got? What do you got, casual?
First of all, I hope my mic isn't terrible.
It is terrible. Continue.
I bet it is. But nah, bro, what is going on the show, bro? I was calling in to add to that little, debate in general, but it's that took a complete turn for the worse.
And I think somebody should be able to recognize that, and when there's a request made to move on. I think it was going in the wrong direction, and I wanted it to move on. I don't think that's much to ask.
Okay. For the sake of I value the.
I 100% agree that it's stupid.
I think.
Here's something really cool. There's a feature.
Well, hold on. Let me jump. I'm at work. I'm taking a quick break.
There's a private chat in StreamYard. If you felt like we needed to move on to the next subject because you were getting some type of way about it, the way to do it is to go in the private chat and say, hey, I'm not feeling this. I think we should move on to the Ahsoka review or whatever the fuck next topic. Rather than insult me, rather than tell me to shut up, rather than threaten the friendship. That would be the way to do it. Private.
All right,
chat,
learning experience. Now I know for next time. Hopefully there is a next time.
Hopefully you don't get this emotional over another video game.
No. This is not about the video game. This is about more than that. It's not about the game. It's about the way that I felt like things were being pushed at me.
At you? I'm talking about the game the whole time.
We don't see eye to eye on this, okay? I know that you can't do anything wrong, but
I can't do anything wrong because I disagree with you about a video game. And
no.
And
it's not even about that. It's not even about that. It's fine.
Yeah, I think you're gonna watch that and feel really dumb about the show.
I'm not.
Let's see the move at all.
Because I know what made me feel this way, and I don't think you understand.
I don't understand. I'm trying to understand why.
I literally roll with every joke, every punch, everything all the time, and then here you are, again, angling and positioning everything in a different way than I thought was going to happen, and then coming at me making it I felt making it haha, look at this, haha, your precious little Xbox game because your precious little Bethesda guy, oh look, everybody hates it.
Yeah, that's not how it happened.
Well, that's how I interpreted it.
We were doing.
Feel like I have a right to feel that way.
We were reviewing the reviews, and I was looking at, and your statement of fact, your premise was that they were just review bombing. These are just PlayStation fanboys. These are fake reviews.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, let's read some of the reviews and sort by most helpful. So I read the reviews, and you just said fake. So I was like, okay, let's look at some of the positive reviews. Okay,
fake. Not a
And
10. Not a 10. Not a 10.
you didn't say any of them were fake, which I pointed out, and I was like, okay, fair, you don't agree with them, but you didn't say any of them were fake. And I said it just feels like there were people who love the game and people who didn't like the game, and just because they didn't like it doesn't mean they're stupid, doesn't mean they're paid actors or they're working on behalf of PlayStation.
Sure.
And then you got super triggered for some reason and started attacking me. That's what happened. That's what happened. And so something feels like this was about something else entirely and not about Starfield whatsoever, because this doesn't make any sense
something
otherwise.
else at all. Like, literally did something cool for you this week. Done lots of cool things for you. Don't ever ask for any kind of credit for that or anything. Like, I'm like literally your biggest fan.
I do cool things too, Jay.
I agree with you completely.
I respect you, Jay. I never at once at any point brought up the friendship. I never was remotely upset. I never had any issue.
This was not about the game. This was about the way that I felt like you were coming at me. And the fact that I asked to move on to something else. And you're like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about it. No, what's going on here?
Yeah,
and it's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I'm never going to be reviewing this because
I don't care. I don't care.
What the? All right. I don't remember any of that.
I think it's stupid, and I think we should move on because obviously something went wrong. I'm sorry that it happened.
I don't know what went wrong.
I'm sure I have. Maybe I have all the responsibility. I don't care. I don't
What
care.
exactly went wrong? Because I need to know going forward so that you're not triggered again in the next segment. If we're talking about, like, am I allowed to say I didn't? Ahsoka was better, but I don't love the show overall. Am I allowed to criticize anything, or is it just only stuff that you
49 episodes here, and we've always been just fine. But I think that
so that's where the confusion is, Jay. 49 episodes
because I felt personally attacked.
Why?
And when I said
why?
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter because I felt that way. All right.
It doesn't matter. What? All right. What specifically triggered
I can't. Do we want to go in circles here? Like, I don't understand.
Based on from my perspective, this came out of complete left field.
Well, then I'm sorry about that.
It makes no sense whatsoever, and I don't understand. And now I don't know how to carry on and have a conversation about any topic because we've been talking like this for 49 episodes. I didn't see anything different. We're literally just talking about
I did
reviews.
My bad. And I, for like the 15th time, would think that it would just be healthier to move on because I'm not actually mad at you. Maybe I was out of pocket with friendship comment. I will apologize for that. But in that moment, I was getting a little frustrated because I felt like you were intentionally trying to get me to keep going. And whether or not you meant to do that doesn't matter. How I felt, and I needed to get you. I don't know how else to like get to you. All right, this isn't productive. Let's move on. There's a chat. There's a private chat. I know that now. We'll do that next time. My bad. All right. Not mad at you. I still love you. Thor still loves you. All right. Whatever. But like, I'm sorry that it happened the way that it did. But I felt attacked, and I didn't understand why. And that's where we're at. I don't know what else to tell you.
I'm equally confused. I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
I don't know what else to say though, but like I just don't want to talk about it.
All right.
I'm sorry to everybody else that's here. Like, I don't know, brother fight first time. Right. It sucks.
For a future reference, we will never talk about Starfield or games that are gifted to Jay from Xbox, and we'll try to avoid any further landmines. Ahsoka season 4.
It's
episode 4. I thought the episode was. It had a lot of stupid shit in it, but I thought it was better. I thought it was the best episode so far. Probably.
Agreed.
Less talking, more fighting. I guess that helped a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with. There's a lot of hyperbole around it. And this is going to be weird because you've been the one that's been down on the show and I've been the one that's been like, oh, this is great. I don't think it was a bad episode, but there's people that are like, "Oh, this is the greatest Disney Star Wars thing they've ever done." I don't know about that. It's just because Anakin's in it. Cool. All right. Like, yeah, I get that. Sorry, I guess that was a spoiler. I don't know if we were doing that, but
It's Friday. Like, these come out Tuesday. I don't care. I don't care
yeah.
about spoilers. I don't care about spoilers. If you haven't seen it I watched it. I watched it a couple hours ago. Like, if you haven't seen it by now, it's Friday. It's a TV show. You're fine. It's what the spoilers. If you haven't been spoiled by now, like, who cares? Who cares? You just spoil. Anakin appears at the end. Fan service surprise. And Anakin, Ahsoka gets killed and by getting knocked off a cliff, and she's in the Phantom Zone or something, and she sees Anakin's, I guess, would it be a force? I'm pretty sure in the timeline, is this supposed to be like post? Is this post Return of the Jet? No, this is a young Luke. So Luke is still young. He's a master. So yeah, this is post Return of the Jedi.
No, this is after Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
Post Return
Sorry.
of
Sorry.
post Return of the Jedi. So yeah, because I remember DH Luke Skywalker popping up in the Mandalorian. So
Right. Right.
in the timeline, Darth Vader would be dead. So Anakin is Anakin is the Force Ghost. So we got to see Force Ghost Anakin pop up on Ahsoka at the end. Spoiler alert. So, Hayden Christensen de-aged, super de-aged. Ooh, that a little to an uncomfortable degree, but he looked looked better than the I think Luke de-aged when he first popped up in the Mandalorian.
I just feel like we got to suspend our disbelief a little bit. Like, we know the situation. They're not young anymore.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing what they can. I don't. I'm fine with that stuff. That stuff never bothers me. I mean, like the Carrie Fisher scene. Like,
Spoiler alert: Anakin Skywalker, the little boy from Phantom Menace, grows up to be Darth Vader.
but like even like we look back to Rogue One, that that Carrie Fisher scene at the end.
Yeah,
Like,
where
that stuff doesn't bother me.
yeah,
Like, it's like, at the end of the day, we all know it's not real. So, like, they're doing their best they can to put out a good product. And that's what makes the most sense to them to do, rather than just getting a completely different actor. Even though I still think Sebastian Stan is perfect to be a Luke Skywalker at this point. But
if they want, I think a full reboot is coming. I think that's their big thing that they're saving, like to try to revitalize the brand a little bit. I think they're just going to reboot the original trilogy. I feel like that's coming.
I don't like that idea.
I think they're going to start over.
I don't like. That's the thing about Star Wars, though. Like, it's like this huge galaxy. Just create a new era. And I think that's what they were doing with the High Republic. Like, and it's what they did with the second trilogy. The prequels. Like, and the newer trilogy. Like, there's ways to do it. You just don't have to
Yeah.
involve the same people.
Yeah, I feel like they have a lot. There's a lot they can go with, but it's just a matter of imagination. I would say, come from my perspective as someone who was just coming into this, I would recommend, because I'm doing it right now. I recommend watching Rebels and then going into Ahsoka, because you're going to get a much better, I think, appreciation. I mean, it's still going. It's the show still has its problems, regardless of how much you love Rebels. But I feel like having that background of Rebels will at least allow you to kind of get better context where they are, because it is basically like a season 5 of Rebels, so it would make sense to like brush up on it and get yourself a little familiar, so you can not only pick up on the Easter eggs, but also be like, okay, well, this is why maybe this is why they're doing this, maybe this is where it's at.
The thing for me with Ahsoka is it struggles with the same thing all the Disney Plus shows struggle with. It's it's very dialogue driven. It's very set piece driven. You're not going a lot of places. It's we're at this in this theater doing this part, and then we're over here doing this part. And that's what's going to happen for $5 a month. So no, the actor was different.
I have to spoil this for Eastwood. James Earl Jones was the original voice of Darth Vader.
Right, but there was a different person
And
in
they
the
had it.
suit.
Yeah. So basically, they had James Earl
David
Jones doing the
Prowse.
voice, and they had a guy in the actual suit. But the voice you were hearing when Vader was walking around being Vader was James Earl Jones. Now it's probably like a voice modulation of or something or something. I'm
Well,
something.
he did sign over his voice.
Yeah. Hope they paid him well because
Yeah.
Mr. Earl Jones missed out on a lot of residuals from that because he didn't take advantage of on the ground floor like Hamill did.
Yeah.
he, he definitely regretted that.
Yeah.
He definitely regretted that. I hope they did right by him because that's that's tough. But imagine voicing one of the most iconic characters of all time, and watching Mark Hamill be like a billionaire.
Yeah, I don't know actually how much money he did get, but he definitely merchandised everything. He did the merchandising thing.
Smart man.
Yeah.
If you're getting in there, if you're getting into acting or entertainment, definitely if possible, get you some points, get you some residuals, get you some merch options.
For those that don't know, one of the things that Mark Hamill did in his original contract is he said anything that is made with his likeness, he needed to be provided to of that item. And
Very
he
smart.
literally has a massive warehouse on his property that is just Luke Skywalker shit.
So if ever he needed to sell and get some money, he's sitting on an actual fortune. just
Yeah.
just in Luke Skywalker memorabilia. Like he is he's already a rich man, but yeah, if he needed any more money, he could always sell his Star Wars stuff. But I don't know. It feels like how many episodes is Ahsoka supposed to be?
I think 7,
Yeah,
7 or 9. I know it's longer than they normally are.
because it feels like we haven't made that much progress in 4 episodes in terms of
Yeah.
the actual plot.
But again, it's 8. Okay. So like, but again, that's a product of, you know, like the way that these Disney Plus shows are recorded. And it's weird because like I don't understand how Daredevil and Netflix did it with all those shows because those shows moved around. They had like real on-site location recording. I know it's not quite the same because we're dealing with more space shit, but like, I don't know. But I
Again,
don't know what people expect for like $5 a month.
um, I mean, uh, I think is the perception is because Disney before going into Disney Plus when Disney made the decision that hey, instead of licensing, we're going to do our own thing. We're going to have our own streaming servers. They were Disney. They had way more than Venom's 19 inches. They were a giant $1 billion company. They had the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we were like, okay, well, they have all this money, they have all this talent at their disposal. So we're gonna get some heat if they're gonna start making Disney Plus products, and then it didn't happen. I mean the quality was definitely much further below on a lot of stuff than like say or Netflix, even just lesser streaming services. It feels like it's not consistent, and then Disney just consistently losing more and more money has resulted in less and less budget. And it's weird. And it's weird. Like not all of their shows are like that. Like Andor looked and felt substantially more expensive than Obi-Wan did, which was weird.
Yeah, and I think that's because they did a lot of on-site, actual old school
Yeah,
recording, and it showed like the difference is just so massive, and I just feel like Ahsoka and to an extent Obi-Wan, a lot of it was just pure soundstage.
It
And
definitely looks like that. Yeah.
and I know they have like this massive soundstage that they built like during COVID, and they love it, and like a lot of stuff has been recorded there, but like, they're saving money by all these dialogue driven scenes, and they're just not entertaining.
Because the
And the reason
dialogue
why,
isn't good
yeah,
a lot of
and
times.
and the reason why people enjoyed this last episode is because we had lots of action, and that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, lot actually. Are we sure Sabine did Sabine forget how to be a Mandalorian at the end of season 4? Am I missing something?
I don't know how long it's been since the end of season 4 and where we are now.
Why is she so bad at fighting?
I think she's just done nothing since then.
That's weird. That's
I
weird.
don't know for sure, but like I feel like she like got depressed and like repressed, and whereas Hera kept the fight going, she went back there and just
Yeah, it definitely feels very much like Sabine just spent all the time since the end of Rebels drinking wine with her cat, like,
and coping.
and escaping on her speeder bike,
Yeah.
listening to punk rock whenever she has responsibilities.
Yeah.
Is unclear how, because I still haven't gotten just going off the show what kind of time skip we're looking at, because it felt like she was being honored for something she did recently, and she seemed, when she was escaping everyone, like she was competent, but then it's like whenever it's time for her to fight, I mean, obviously she's a terrible Jedi. We knew that.
Yeah.
But she fought this battle as a Mandalorian, and she was still terrible. like when she and why did they split up? Like, listen to your robot. Don't
Yeah.
split,
Yeah.
don't split up.
But you knew as soon as you said not to split up,
They were
that
going to
was the
immediately split
first thing they were going to do.
even though they had a 2-on-1 situation. They could have took out the apprentice.
I think the thing that we're not like, that's kind of lost, is that that second Sith, whose name was like Marbach or something like that. There was this massive online banter and debate.
Yeah, they
Who's
thought it
it
was
going to
Ezra.
be?
They thought it was Ezra.
They thought it was going to be Ezra. They
Star
thought it was going to be
Killer.
Star Killer, and it ended up being a cloud of gas.
It ended up being a fart.
Yeah, like literally nothing.
I bet Ryan Johnson wrote that scene.
Probably.
Who's raised parents? Who's raised parents? Nobody.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. Cause that whole scene was weird, because I didn't even get the feeling that the apprentice even cared who the fuck this guy was. Like, all like they were. It felt like they were trying to build this up, and like, oh, who is he? Who is he? And then he just dies shockingly to a lightsaber, because, as we know, apparently hit Ahsoka's lightsaber has the lethal setting on, and the apprentice who stabbed Sabine had her set to a safe mode. That's why her getting stabbed through the stomach directly didn't do anything, but him just getting slashed across his front made him explode into a cloud of gas.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I don't know. I don't like.
But she was so sad. Like she was so devastated. I was like, why?
Yeah.
I thought they were going to unmask him. Like, I thought if he died, they were going to unmask him, and there would have been some crazy reveal. Like, I understand. Like, they didn't even build up their relationship. Like, why did she care? She cared so much that she dropped her defenses against Sabine completely.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the show. I enjoy it. It's about what I expected. It is going slow. But it's
I thought it definitely improved. There's always some goofy stuff. Like, obviously the editing is still pretty bad. I was laughing a bit at the end when they said we got to block them from going into hyperspace. We got to block their ships, and then they didn't actually block the ship. So the way they positioned themselves, they could just go right over the top.
I know. I thought they went right through them.
No, they actually went a little bit over the top with them.
Gotcha.
Because instead of like forming a ring to like spread out more, they were kind of like bunched into the middle. so all I had to do was kind of shoot over the top and
Yeah,
and miss them entirely.
I thought because it was a ring that they just went right
Yeah,
through them.
yeah, they didn't actually get into the direct path of the ship because the strategy was supposed to be if you get in a direct path, they can't jump into hyperspace without basically kamikazing themselves, and they did not position themselves properly. like like it was weird that Harry even was like surprised that like they were planning to just jump because it was like, well, obviously, yeah, we know that. Like you said this in the beginning, we're going to block them. You obviously wouldn't block them if you thought they were going to fight. Like it was, oh, they didn't. We're going to block them. They didn't. They didn't send out any other fighters. So obviously they're playing to run. And then she's like, they're what? They're planning to jump into hyper. Like yeah, no shit. Like what do you think they were going to do?
Yeah,
And,
that
yeah,
was
that
definitely
that was definitely a Peter B. Parker moment, and
yeah.
where I was like, why is he here? Why are you bringing this child on this dangerous mission
Yeah.
for for no reason? like,
I think the show is it's enjoyable, and I guess if not for anything, I'm glad that it got you to watch and appreciate Rebels.
oh yeah,
Um,
loving Rebels. I just hit season 2. Ahsoka actually just showed up.
yeah,
I'm gonna go with them. So I'm definitely enjoying Rebels a lot more, but it's definitely giving me. It's not making me enjoy Ahsoka more, but it is making me understand Ahsoka more. Ahsoka's problems are mainly of a technical nature, not necessarily, related to the lore or anything like that. It's just literally just technical stuff like dialogue, editing, pacing, that sort of thing. Fight choreography, that sort of thing can be a bit goofy, but otherwise, it's definitely not a masterpiece by any means. I don't think it's better than The Mandalorian. Probably,
yeah.
yeah. I think it's better, definitely better than the first 4 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett. I'd say, but I mean, pretty low bar. I didn't really like the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I like that one. I mean,
I liked
it's
it
not.
toward. I liked it when it became the Mandalorian.
Yeah, but I think yeah, we've already had that conversation. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. In my season 2 of She-Hulk, like, come on. It's, I don't think I don't think that's happening. If it did, I would definitely do a watch party 100%. But everything it feels like everything Marvel is basically delayed or in danger of cancel. Like Echo is technically done, but it doesn't have like they took it off the calendar. So I'm thinking maybe they're planning on doing reshoots once the strike is over. Otherwise, I mean, just
I
give
think
it.
I think a lot of companies are like holding content back to kind of stretch it just in case this goes longer because once they put Echo out, what do they have ready?
I mean, to be fair, I don't think anyone's going to watch Echo anyway. So,
I
so,
that is fair.
so,
But I am saying that like
but yeah, it makes
in the
sense in general.
grand scheme of things, that's just that example. Like I think Big Brother, as an example, I think they like delayed launching it for like a month and a half, because they knew that like the strike was going to be here, and you know it's definitely better than Secret Invasion.
I mean, that's not saying much, but yeah, see, Secret Invasion is one of the worst things I've ever witnessed. So, I say that is definitely a little bar. I'm looking this up. Is She-Hulk actually happening? I'm trying to see any evidence of this other than Twitter fan accounts.
Hmm.
Apparently, a insider on Twitter said that She-Hulk is happening, but you know how I feel about insiders on Twitter.
Hmm.
If it's not Jeff Grubb or Tom Henderson or Miller, I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. I'm not going to take it at face value. So until Marvel says something, I'm going to assume it's not happening. But I do assume that One Piece is getting a second season because Netflix legitimately had a pretty big hit on their hands.
This seems like a good time to take a pee break.
Yeah, it definitely is. According to Netflix, One Piece debuted at number one with 18.5 million views, which is impressive because a show is doing really good when Netflix gives you like actual numbers for once. And they usually say something, like viewers, like, and obviously there's a question of what is a view, you know, and this doesn't tell us percentage views. How did people just watch like the first few seconds? Did they watch like one episode and dip? Obviously there's a lot of detail that they're missing, but based on it ranking in the top number one on the actual site and all the conversation about it online, it definitely feels like One Piece was definitely a legitimate hit, and which makes sense. It's a massive IP. uh, I think I read somewhere that the only series that's outsold One Piece is like Superman, but I was admittedly not excited about watching it because, as a general rule, when it comes to live action anime adaptations, they're pretty terrible, especially if they're done by Western studios. And most recently we had that with Netflix doing a live action Cowboy Bebop adaptation, which was an absolute disgrace. And before that, they done Death Note, which was also bad. So didn't have high hopes for this, but what ended up separating One Piece from the rest of those is the fact that the creator Oda was directly involved with the creation of the show, so they didn't just sit back and let the studio do whatever they want. He was actually there working with them, and I feel like that's how it's got to be, because if you just leave them to to do whatever, then you get Cowboy Bebop live action. But I think maybe I'm hoping this is like Netflix's idea of changing, like, and we'll do something different this time around. But it could be that, or maybe because of how massive One Piece is and how big Oda is, he had the leverage to basically say, "Yeah, you're not going to Cowboy Bebop my show. You're not going to Cowboy Bebop my art. If you want to do this adaptation, you're not going to ignore my notes like you did with Cowboy Bebop. You're going to listen. You're going to have me right there with you, and you're going to listen to me." And it worked out. One Piece is One Piece is Lord of the Rings for Japan, expected to be big. That's interesting. It's weird. It's like because it's basically, in terms of lifetime sales, One Piece is basically, from what I read, second only to like Superman or something, and so it's like a massive deal worldwide, particularly in Japan. So I think that's part of the reason why it was as good as it was. Obviously Jay, big fan of One Piece. You see all the
No, you say I need to get my prostate checked. Like, dude, I've already like drank 4 cups, 64 ounces of water, and I just guzzle the whole monster. Like, I
I,
think it's kind of reasonable to have to pee.
I say no to energy drinks.
I don't know. I just like the taste.
It's like the taste. That's fair. That's fair. I think I've had one energy drink in my life, and it wasn't Monster, but I have had worse than energy drink. I've had Four Loco before. Yeah, which if you drank cigarette. Yeah, if you know anything about alcohol, drinking just one Four Loco is insane. I believe I had three at a party one time.
Yee.
So, yeah, we
Yee.
yeah we got pretty tart that night.
Yeah, I this one right here is like my favorite one like ever. It's
Pink.
Monster Ultra Strawberry Dreams.
Ooh, strawberry.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had a lot of water today, so I'm sorry. I have actually been getting through a lot of these and not having to take my pee break, but
I actually didn't have any water today. I had some Zevia. That's my drink of choice. I don't do I don't do water. I do no. Wish I had a sponsorship. I do that Zevia. It's basically healthy soda alternatives. You know, it's no calories, no sugar, sweetened with stevia, and you know, it doesn't have like a bunch of different ingredients, chemicals. That's basically how I've replaced soda in my diet. Pile up
yeah,
the water,
I'm doing
pack
my
up the
best.
Zevia.
I definitely need to. I've been trying. Like I have we get these at the movie theater. They're like 64 ounces, I think, and I've probably filled this 5 times today.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty much how I do my water. I wanted it because I had when I had a smaller bottle, it was annoying to like keep going back and forth. So
yeah,
I was like, let me just get a 64 ounce
right.
glass because I'm trying to avoid plastics too. I just got a glass and I just fill it up twice a day and that does me. Four loco, 3 or 4 loco will crush it. Anyone, but not me. I took a
They
I took it like a champ.
they weren't even legal in Massachusetts for a while. I don't even know if they still are.
They
Massachusetts is weird. Like up until like a few like maybe it's like 10 years ago at this point, but like we were one of the only Puritan states in the country where like the package store was closed on Sunday. Like you were not allowed to sell alcohol on Sunday.
you're the Chick-fil-A of states.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's changed recently, but there are still places that won't sell alcohol, like packies. We call them packies. I don't know what you guys liquor stores.
You call them what?
Packies, package store, short packy, kind of
So
like
so
Cumbies,
so
kind
the
of like
only
Dunks.
so the reason why I tilted my head is because I've only heard that term once
Yeah, I understand.
as a racial slur for
Yeah,
Pakistani people.
nope, not that at all. They're package stores. We call them package stores, for short packies. And I'm saying it like PAHKI because there's
Massachusetts going to
there's
Massachusetts.
not an R there, but like for some reason they're packies.
Okay.
You can look it up. It is just Massachusetts
I'm
lingo.
sure. I'm sure it's legitimate. It just makes me uncomfortable.
Kind of like when you go out, like when you were in school, right? And you need to get water. Where did you go?
The water fountain?
The bubbler. That's
No.
what they call it. That's what they call it here.
I have some weird slang.
Yeah, I will never forget my first day of 6th grade. We had just moved up from Tennessee, and teachers like, "Does anybody want to go to the bubbler?" No, I'm sorry, the bubbler. And I was like, "What's that?" The water fountain. Like,
Want to go to the bubbler? Afterwards, we're going to go recess and do some pegging against the wall.
and I don't think it's as prominent anymore, but like my grandmother called soda tonic. Do you want a
like
tonic?
like a potion,
Yeah,
a medieval potion.
yeah.
I know it always. I know people call them pop, but
Yep, that's another one. I think that's usually like a Midwest thing, I think.
yeah. I just call it soda,
Yeah.
like a normal person. Uh, any
Just do it.
any advice for someone who wants to start streaming and making videos? You heard it from the man himself, JayShockblast.
Yeah,
Just just do it and watch the money piles roll in.
it's one of those things like I feel like the half the battle is just doing it.
That's fair.
Like I really feel like you're gonna get out of what you put in. Not everybody's gonna make it. Not everybody's gonna stay successful. Like you gotta get what you want out of it and not necessarily worry about the other things. And obviously your craft will get better as you do it. Like we all get better at it. We learn, we read, we research. I've been doing it for 13 years, and I've learned a lot from Sadot, and who's been doing it much less. And it's just there's no like perfect answer.
I will attempt to give one. I'll give you a roadmap, if you will, to just to give some game to what I would recommend. So first, just in terms of more less philosophical, more like steps you can take right now that will get you started. So first off, decide right away, do you want to do this as a hobby, or do you want to make this a potential career? Because that will dramatically alter the process. If you want to, if this is just a casual thing that you want to do for fun, then you don't need advice. Just get a basic setup, start doing it for fun. It doesn't matter because you're just doing it for a hobby. But if you're trying to make money from this and potentially make this, whether it's a career or a full-time career like what I'm doing, or like a side hustle, then you want to actually start looking into doing what you need to actually have a product. So once you decide, okay, I want to do this for real, then what you want to do is decide what kind of creator are you going to be. Do you want to be a streamer? Are you, be honest with yourself, are you is it something you're going to be good at? Because streaming is not for everybody. Because streaming, the what really separate, because anyone can stream. Let's keep it a buck. Like it doesn't, like, especially with the technology now, anyone can go live, turn on the camera, and stream a video game. That doesn't take much effort or skill whatsoever. What really separates the top streamers, the ones that are doing it like big time, are ones that are interesting. Like, are you an entertaining person? And be honest with yourself. Are you somebody who can sit for 3, 5, 6, 9 hours and just be entertaining to an audience? Can you be entertaining even when there's one person in the chat? Can you be entertaining when there's hundreds of people trying to talk to you at the same time while also playing your video game? Like, if you're someone who isn't good off the top of your head, not good improvising, and not that funny, just in the moment, streaming probably isn't your thing, which is fine. You don't need to be a streamer. It's hard to get into that anyway. And then you want to look at, all right, maybe make some long form videos, okay, or short videos, whatever the case may be. So that's basically scripted content. And in that case, then you want to decide, okay, I'm going to do streaming, or I'm going to do scripted, or a combination, depends on your talent level. So then it's like, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to be a variety, or are you going to lock in on a particular niche? Like, that's another important. That's another massive factor. Are you going to try to break into no, a big game? If you want to do one game in particular, like a Fortnite, I would say don't Fortnite in particular, because the problem with just sticking to one game is that if anything happens to that game, first off, then your channel, you built your entire channel on this one game, and you're scrambling to pivot there. So also, Fortnite is massively saturated. Everyone wants to be a Fortnite content creator. It's like the biggest game in the world. So if you do want to get into a particular game, you want to make sure it's popular enough where there's an audience for it, not too popular that it's saturated, and something that you will be able to make ongoing content for. So live service games are good. So you might want to go for a genre rather than a particular game. Like, there's some channels that just basically, I only cover looter shooters. So anytime, any remotely looter shooter. So anytime there's a Destiny, whether it's a Destiny, whether it's a First Descendants, or Outriders, or Wayfinder, any type of game like that with the looter component, Diablo, that sort of thing. You can just make that your niche. If you want to do horror games, that's your niche. I would recommend genre, over that. So rather than just doing on one game. And then after that, it's just a matter of making sure your quality is good. So research, get a good camera, get a good microphone, particularly a good microphone, because bad audio will absolutely ruin you. And look up some channels to vidIQ does a lot of really good tutorial stuff, and they'll give you some good game on how to better title your videos, how to put together thumbnails in particular are a lot easier these days thanks to AI tools like Midjourney, and even scripting can be a lot easier with tools like ChatGPT. So I would say, take that roadmap, figure out what you want to do, and do your necessary research, but don't spend too long on the research stage. I would say take 30 days, do your research, and then make the goal of I'm going to start making content on this date. You know, 30 days. That's pretty much how long I took to do my due diligence before I really dove into it. So I would recommend do as much research as you can, get prepared, order the equipment that you need, and then just get started. Don't wait because if you wait, you think, I need to learn more. I need to learn more. It's not going to help you're unless you're like a prodigy. You're gonna be terrible when you start. It doesn't matter. You're gonna get better. The more research you do, the better it is you'll start. But in general, you're not going to be Mr. Beast day one. Just get your game plan, get everything together, and then start putting out stuff.
And don't if you're gonna do it right. Don't feel like, oh, this is a $30 mic, I'll just go with that. It's worth it to get the right equipment from the start.
Absolutely.
You know,
Also, don't listen to comments. Like,
don't listen to what.
don't listen to comments.
Oh yeah,
But I can, as I'm in year 3, and I can confidently say I have never once gotten an intelligent or actionable piece of advice in the comment section about how to improve my channel. And I've literally gotten thousands of comments, not one, and I've read all of them, pretty much, and not a one has been helpful or useful in terms of growing and making a better channel. So, because I've seen creators struggle with this, they'll be like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't do this, or maybe I should change this, or maybe I should do that because this user 5432 lover number one said he didn't like this or this is shit." Don't do that.
yeah,
Don't ever do that.
yeah. I mean, obviously the comments can be helpful, but at the end of the day, you are your own person, and you're
Yeah,
going to get out of this what you put in and what you
yeah,
want. And I mean, I know Sadot and I do things a little differently, um, in the fact that I know I'm doing a lot of things wrong, but I've always done it a certain way, and I want, at the end of the day, this is what I want to do. I understand certain things aren't clicking, but I'm not going to be happy if I'm not doing this. So there is a balance, and as far as what short form content and long form, uh,
it
that's
does.
such a
Yeah,
tricky.
burnout. Yeah, burnout. That's why I said from the very beginning, decide right off the bat what kind of how serious you want to be about content creation. There is no such thing as burnout when it comes to the type of whether it's long form or short form content. Burnout only occurs when you're making so much content and not taking any breaks. If you're if you are good at long form videos and you enjoy it and you're serious about it, then you do that. You do what you want to do, what you're passionate about. And it doesn't matter if it's people who do shorts because they like doing short form content. They know how to do it. They're good at it. Some do it because of they have some algorithm advantages and they want to use it to grow really fast. That's pretty much what shorts are good for. Like actual shorts, like TikTok or YouTube shorts. That's what it's actually good for. But if you're talking shorts, and so those would be 1 minute videos, 1 minute or less, not 1 to 2 minutes. So I do shorter form videos like that, but that's my news niche strategy thing. But technically, anything that's not a YouTube short would count as long form. So so it doesn't matter if you're so if you want to, so long form can be broad. Like technically, yeah, a 3 minute video is a long form video on YouTube. Also, a 5 hour essay about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is also a long form video in the same way. So it just entirely depends on what kind of content you're attempting to make. I would recommend shorts. For shorts, the drawback with shorts is that it's easier to go viral, but it's a different skill set from longer form videos, and you will make zero money. And it won't really translate. They added YouTube recently added a new feature where you can actually link your long form videos to your shorts, and it basically replaced the link feature that you used to be able to add a link into your shorts. That's what like people that were marketers and selling stuff would use as an exploit. That would make a viral short and link to like a product or something. Now you can't do that, but you can link to a longer form video, and it'll be like a call to action within the video itself that's easy to see and click on. So that's basically YouTube's way of trying to address the divide between the fact that people who watch shorts don't usually go to long form, but the upside with shorts are that they can get you, if you are good at them, they can get you into that monetization threshold really fast because you can get a lot of views really fast and you can get a lot of subscribers really fast. But long form videos, you're going to make a lot more money, and it's to me they're easier to put together, or at least I enjoy that process more. Shorts can be pretty easy, but I enjoy the long form videos more. So again, it depends on what kind of videos you want to make and what kind of creator you want to be. Whether you want to be doing news, do you want to do essays? Do you just want to do gameplay? You decide what kind of creator you're going to be. Study the creators. Once you decide what you want to make, study the creators that are doing really well in that niche. Study your JayShockblast, your Sadot the gamers, your cabooses, and see what they're doing, what they're doing right, and how you can add that to your own bag. That's pretty much what I did. I watched a bunch of when I decided I wanted to do video game content and I was going to do Avengers specifically. I just looked at all the top Avengers creators who got a lot of views and was like, okay, well, what are they doing, and how can I take stuff from their video and improve and add it to my own and make it my own thing. That's basically what everyone does starting out. Look at who's already successful and model that, and you'll be good to go. I do short form videos and long form stream. Kind of, yeah. Like I do kind of like essay type of stuff for like my video game pitch series. I do news and commentary and theory stuff, and most of the theory stuff is like 5 minutes or less. I do news stuff that's 2 minutes or less. I have them in different categories, and then I do like long streams, usually streams that are usually like 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on the game. I think my record is 10 hours for a stream, which don't know for JayShockblast. You almost got there with Starfield though.
Yeah, I just got lost in the game and how much I loved it.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it depends on it. Yeah, I don't like doing
Yeah, I don't
that long stream. It has to be something that really like it has to be like worth it. Like I did like usually those were like when Avengers had like a new content drop, and I would like do all the content. Like they drop a new hero, I do all the new story content, and then I'd level up the hero all the way and get the best build and everything like that. I just do it all on stream instead of off stream. I think the last time I had a stream that long was Stray. I mean, how could you not play the cat game forever? I just had to finish it because it wasn't even that long of a game. Like I finished the entire thing in 10 hours just in one sitting. So, but yeah, I couldn't I couldn't put it down. But yeah, generally I prefer like 2 hours, 3 hours, and peace out of there. So
Yeah. I just don't like sitting for that long. I
it's not good for you.
yeah, I don't like yeah. Yeah, that's my kind of thing. Like sometimes even once we get to hour 2, like between hour 2 and 3, I spend a lot of time saying, "All right, can you like shut the fuck up already? We can go."
Yeah, I feel like hour two. I feel like if you're going a longer stream, I feel like every hour or two you should
No, I
like.
meant this show and I was talking about you.
Oh yeah, that too. But yeah, we're almost at hour two. Where we usually wrap it up at about the 2 hour 10 20 mark, depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
So we like to keep it brief because what if I'm playing on stream like for longer than 2 hours, I try to at least make an excuse to stand up
Yeah.
every hour or so.
Well, that's what I love about my pee breaks, you know what I mean?
That's why he pounds all those energy drinks. You've been on and off YouTube since seventh grade. Oh, you should have been start. You should have been. You should. That's the best time to start YouTube. When you're a kid, you have no responsibilities. Yeah,
Yeah. And it is tough to say. It's tough to say listen, I've like my it's hard for me not to feel like there's a lot of things working against my channel as a 13-year-old channel that has literally covered every possible thing in gaming. And some things just like Starfield's doing nothing for me. Like I'm just playing it because I enjoy it and I just want to see it through, you know? But then there's other games that do well and you ride the highs and you just have to like get through the lows and it's just a matter of like some people like Sadot is going to see something like that and say, "Ooh, next." And I'm going to say, "Well, I need to get where I want to be before I say next." And unfortunately, I've had a couple stinkers in a row. So
yeah,
it's kind of,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I take the I take the temperature when it comes. Like I've got to my point. I got to the point where I know what games and stuff my audience are going to probably like. I've gotten a lot better just in terms of just packaging my videos. So like I know if it's superhero related, it's probably going to do pretty well as long as I package it correctly. But if it's kind of out there, maybe yeah, like I had to do a sponsored I did a sponsored post a couple weeks ago for Where Winds Meet, and it's not a superhero game, but it's something that would appeal to like a Sekiro, Ghost of Tsushima type of crowd. And so I know I have people like that on the channel, and I'm interested in that. So I was like, okay, if I make this good, I could get some motion on that, and it did good. It did, I think right now it's at like 12,000 views. So I'm set. So I'm good. I'm good with that. A not completely non superhero game. It's not a big IP, and I can do that. But if I do a game and it's not within like my threshold of expected views, then then I'm going to look at it and be like, okay, not for the YouTube channel, maybe for the Twitch, rather than just pound it like I did like for Final Fantasy 16. The demo stream did okay, did pretty good actually, and then I did early access review, did pretty decent, and then I did an early access live stream. Did did didn't do as well as the demo. Then I did a follow up stream. Did worse than the previous stream. So I was like, okay, so not a lot of interest in Final Fantasy 16, at least in terms of live streaming. Maybe I'll switch over to Twitch because it seems to be bigger on Twitch rather than on YouTube. So it could just be that sort of thing. I'll make those adjustments, but usually I got to the point where I understand what videos are going to do well and what I could serve an audience, because it's not that you're completely boxed in, but you want to be mindful of what your audience expects, because you can pivot to other stuff, but it has to be within a reasonable realm. Like it's not a huge stretch to go from Marvel's Avengers to Marvel Spider-Man, because a lot of the people, most of the people who would play Marvel's Avengers probably have played Spider-Man, or would want to. Same with Gotham Knights, same with Marvel's Wolverine. So you can kind of branch out in different areas. But YouTube has changed their algorithm, so they made it usually in the past, if you made a video that wasn't, outside, that was kind of outside what your audience expectations was, it would just die. If your audience didn't initially like it, it was just a wrap. It was over. But now they changed it so that they'll give it a chance. Like they'll still serve it, and if it picks up traction, it'll do well. I've had stuff like that, for happen with Elden Ring videos, God of War videos. So it's just kind of a matter for me of just understanding how to present the video in a way that will be appealing to new viewers, even if my core audience doesn't like it. But generally, I try, outside of sponsorship opportunities, I try to, and even in that case, I try to make it so that it's something that reasonably my audience might be interested in. So I'm not doing too crazy in the opposite direction. I don't like if someone wanted me to do a dedicated, like I got approached to do a dedicated video for Honkai Star Rail, and I have zero interest in that game. I don't think many people on my channel would be interested in that game. So I was like, that's probably not going to do well if I go down that Honkai Star Rail path. So I'm gonna pass on Honkai Star Rail, but some other stuff I'll take a chance. Or if it's like a 60-second ad read or something, I'll be more lenient towards that, because it's like, okay, well, it's an ad read within a video that people I know are going to watch. Like I did that recently. I did a World of Warships ad read in my latest Spider-Man video. It was like a 70-second ad read in the middle of the video. So that one, and I thought the game looked cool. So I was like, okay, that's fine to do. But it was within the expectation of, also there's this nice little Spider-Man video around it. So it just depends, like on, every video isn't going to do well. It's just a matter of, in my experience, if a video doesn't do well, it has something to do with the title or thumbnail. And it could be tricky. In particular, like I've had times where I was like, I make a thumbnail, I'm like, oh, okay, this is good, this is dope, this is good, and then I see the video isn't doing as well, and I'm like, okay, and I switch to the backup thumbnail, and then it just takes off, and I'm just like, oh, the backup thumbnail I thought was worse. But you never know. Or just change. It's weird how that can happen, but literally just changing a couple words can be the difference between, like, literally in my experience, like changing a couple words around. What's the difference between a video getting 5,000 views and 300,000 views? So YouTube can be tricky like that. So that's why when if I see a video and I'm managing expectations, if I don't think it's where it should be, that's when I'll start playing around with like the title and the thumbnail to test and see if I can get something to click with the audience. That's why usually I'll have like 5 backup thumbnails just in case, if I'm not sure. Sometimes I'll do a thumbnail where I'm like, that's the one. When I had that feel, I'm at the point where if I had that feeling, that's it. Like that's the one, and like, and that's good to go. And after that, it's just making sure the title was right. But yeah, otherwise, usually you want to look at the title of the thumbnail and be like, okay, I know this is, especially if it's a video that should have an audience. Like it's like, okay, I know this game just came out, or I have early access to this. I know a lot of people are interested in this. This should do some numbers. So for me, I'll be like, okay, if it's not doing what I think it should do, then I'll start playing around with the title and thumbnail, see if I can find something to work around rather than just letting it die. Because I used to just do that. I used to just think, oh, there's nothing you can do. Then I found out that, oh no, you can pretty much change a title and thumbnail whenever, and YouTube will still give it a chance. Like you can have videos take off after the fact, even after it's already been out for a while. So sometimes just a matter of having the patience just kind of sit there and just tweak it and mess with it until you get what you want. Sometimes it's just like, just call it. That's just basically how I did it.
I'm while you were talking about all that, I was going through the files that I already have downloaded so I can get Apple Podcasts up to date.
Oh yeah, someone actually I think on a Spider-Man when I was doing the stream for the Spider-Man 5-year anniversary, someone asked if the Aftershow had been updated on Apple yet.
I was up to date, and then I got behind again because the titles. Some episode 45. That last week says it was episode 45, or new state of play, whatever. Then it says the week before was episode 47. Then the week before says 46. Then 45. Then 42. Then 41. So like I don't know. There's weird numbers missing. So yeah. I don't know what's going on, but
yeah, I don't have. I don't know. I know I have. Let me see.
The thing is that like I start doing it, but then when I like click download audio only, it takes a little while, and then I like just get sidetracked, and I think about it again when I'm like driving somewhere, and it's like I keep meaning to do it, and I need to get a better flow of getting them up in a more timely manner. That's 100% on me, and I apologize.
No biggie. I might have to update some of the thumbnails. I'm pretty sure we're on 49.
No, I'm talking about in StreamYards. If you there's upcoming and there's past, and past is in order of date, but
I'm looking at the thumbnail. I'm looking at the actual YouTube channel too. I'm like it doesn't look like it's in order.
Yeah, so I don't know.
40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. So this might be 40. This today might be 47.
I think it's 48.
48.
Because last week says it was 47.
Yeah, but because I'm looking at it because we have 40 episode 40. It was the Comic-Con recap. 41 was Evan. 42 we talked about Wonder Woman 3. Then it goes straight to 45, then 46, 47, 48, 49.
Yeah. So like that was what like while you were talking, I was like trying to figure out like what the hell.
Yeah, I might have to just update some thumbnails, some thumbnails to get the proper count.
Yeah, but I already have I have them downloaded. It's just I just have it's honestly so easy to upload. It takes like a few minutes. So what I'll do is I'll have what I've been doing is when I like get behind, I have them go up each day. So like I'll have one go up tomorrow and then Sunday and then Monday. And then I think we're caught up, but if not, it'll be Tuesday. And then I'm going to try to like make sure that I'm doing it every Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. The only Spider-Man 2 news, were the posters.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but obviously people come and go, and
it's pretty much just supposed to. I mean, if you want to count Caboose creating a screwball poster, I guess that's news. But otherwise, just the posters. They didn't release any new ones today, so we're assuming either they're done with the posters or they're going to start back up again next week. James Stevenson was being cute about it. He was just kind of memeing. So maybe they're not done with posters. If we're speculating which posters, we know they haven't done the Mary Jane, Harry,
Genki.
Norman yet, Genki. So they could, if they want to do those characters, they can. If they want to, they could also obviously reveal another villain. You know, they have so far they've only revealed Venom, Kraven, and Lizard, but we know from the story trailer that Martin Lee is back, and we know that Wraith is going to make her debut as an enemy of Spider-Man. So if anyone was going to get revealed that's new, my money would be on Yuri Watanabe, just like a clear form of her Wraith in her Wraith uniform. Like we got a glimpse of it on the map that Kraven had in the demo, but we only got to see a little bit of her face, and her outline in the story trailer is like obscured by by the shadows and the smoke and everything like that. So I would expect like a full reveal of that if they're going to do if they wanted to go that route for in terms of revealing new characters, but otherwise they might just be done, or they'll do like Harry and Mary Jane and call or Black Hat. Please do Black Hat, but otherwise I think they're probably they might be done, but we'll see. We know we're expecting the state of play that Jeff Grubb talked about to happen at some point this month. I know Tokyo Game Show is in a few weeks, and not sure if PlayStation is going to have it like at the very end of the month, like they did with the showcase, or I mean, they could have it next week. We don't know. But Jeff Grubb said 90% chance that he's 90% sure PlayStation is doing their state of play this month. Later in the month, there's also going to be once again right back with Game Informer. They're going to do their cover reveal for October. Usually it's in between the 20th and the 18th and the 28th of the month. That's usually when they do their cover reveal. So
I hope it's like Detective Pikachu 2, which is like already going to be out at that point.
It might be Super Mario Wonder or Alan Wake, and I will laugh. if it's not Spider-Man again, that would actually be hilarious.
Can't get the cover every time.
Nope, and like they said, it's a two-way street. So if obviously we know Game Informer would love to have Spider-Man for their cover. So if it's not, we can assume it's because they went in a different direction.
Maybe they just don't want to put a lot of information out. Maybe they want you to just play the game.
That could be that too, because we know Game Informer's cover reveals do reveal a lot of stuff. Obviously, Insomniac has done the cover for all their past games for Spider-Man in particular, but maybe this time around, it's possible that they're like, you know what, we don't want to give them this sort of access in a way that makes sense for them. So we're just going to kind of do our own thing. We got the state of play, and we'll do hands-on previews or reviews. It's sometime in October, and that'll be it. Who knows, that could be the approach they take. But yeah, that's definitely going to be the response from a lot of people on social media for sure. if they don't get the October reveal, but we've all pre-ordered the game already. So
yeah, like I just don't get it, man. Like this game doesn't need more marketing.
We're literally 42 days.
Especially to the people like the Twitter crowd that like is not, that thinks they're everybody and are not. Like that's the crowd they need to market to the least. Like you are already in the door. Like why do they need to like spend more time and money to get you in the door?
Yeah, it's legitimately like there are people who have spent literally hundreds of dollars on this game already.
Right.
Like why would they why would they market it to you? What are they marketing for?
Yeah, like I just think it's adorable that there's like, I have a Twitter account, so I know what marketing means. Meanwhile, here I am with almost 25 years of experience working with publicists at various, record labels, video games, like everywhere. I've been to many different record labels and video game studios. Like please tell me about marketing. Like I'm no expert, okay, but I'm sure I know more than you.
Well, to mansplain marketing to you, when a publisher and a media outlet love their customers very much, they they get together and try to convince them to give them money, and,
Yeah.
and once they do, they consider that a job well done.
Yeah, it's like, no, the things that these people are asking for are like to be spoon-fed like new content. Like that's not marketing. And it doesn't like the people that Insomniac needs to get in front of are the everyday people driving around and looking at billboards, or watching Desperate Housewives, or no, or you said Real Housewives, whatever. Like they need to
It's
get
all
in
the
front of
same
the
thing.
moms and the dads, okay, and make sure they know that their kid needs Spider-Man too. Kid already knows,
Yeah.
but like that's the marketing they're going to concentrate on. And I think what's really telling is when I made my comment, I had like a bunch of industry people like the tweet. It's
Yeah.
okay, these are people that are literally in charge of the marketing for their game.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, and obviously people on Twitter don't know much of anything really as a general rule. But when it comes to marketing a game, they've already succeeded. Like, and the hilarious thing about it is that as much as people are bitching that Insomniac isn't showing enough, they were saying that Spider-Man PS4 showed too much. I actually remember this. Like, there was a very common complaint. They were actually mad at Insomniac for revealing too much about the game and like the story trailers and everything like that. Like, what'd you spoil Miles Morales? What'd you spoil it? Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to play the game first.
I'm and maybe this is why I've taken such a stance, but like I just want to play the game and experience it, man. I don't need to see all this stuff. This is the third game of the franchise. All they have to do is show a base level of story introduction. I feel like that last one they did was really good. It showed us a lot,
Yep,
and they probably showed it too soon.
it's
That's
possible.
probably the biggest mistake they made, was showing it too soon. You
I'm a,
know,
I was perfectly fine with it. I was, to me, because especially since the story trailer shows even more than I think most people probably even gave it credit for. Because I feel like a lot of people didn't even really look that deep into it. And as a content creator, I took the whole thing apart.
exactly. As a content creator, it's great for us when they show more.
Yeah,
But like for them, like they have the ability to take it slow because they've already built up that base, and they don't have to like stress about it. Like not every marketing campaign is created equal. There are some games that need to show more, that need to be more in your
yeah,
face, and that's just the way it goes.
yeah. You're not. Yeah, maybe you could argue. Oh, you need a lot of marketing for Redfall because you gotta convince people. But
Right.
we're on Spider-Man 2. This is technically the third Spider-Man game they've made.
No, it was really funny. Somebody sent me yesterday. It was like, it's the second most popular and highest selling superhero in the world. The casual Spider-Man fans need to know this is coming. I'm like, if they don't know they're coming, they are not Spider-Man fans. Like,
Yeah,
what are we talking
every
about?
actual Spider-Man fan knows it's coming. October
Like,
20th.
you literally just told me that it was the number one highest grossing comic book character in the world. It's going to do fine.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend people don't know this is a thing. Like, just,
Yeah,
like,
even like I do is I kind of test various stuff. Like I have a friend, I have a really good friend who's like he's a professional music producer. His life is basically music. He doesn't really follow politics. He doesn't really follow much what's going on in the industry. He knows like base level stuff. He knows what's on social media. He has a PlayStation. He knows base level stuff. Like if I can run something by him and he knows what it is, then I know it's up there. I mentioned Spider-Man 2. He was like, "Oh yeah, I know about that. I'm I'm looking forward to that." And he's not even a Spider-Man guy. He's obsessed with Dragon Ball Z. That's like all he watches. And even he is like, "Oh yeah, I know about Spider-Man 2." Like, so yeah, he people are going to people are going to buy the game, even if they never do anything. Like they do nothing at all until like the review period. It'll still do great.
This is what I love. When I was gonna bring this up, that I saw somebody say something about this. They only had 2 trailers, and that's the way you do it. You know, like some things are, you just don't need all this nitty
Yes.
gritty deep dives, developer breakdowns. Like that's for Marvel's Avengers, okay?
Yeah.
That needs to keep you occupied, that needs to convince you, that things are going well, especially after they had a beta that didn't go well. Like for better or worse, Spider-Man is going to sell itself as a video game.
Yeah, that's like God of War did. Like, who really was on the fence about God of War?
Right.
Like, it's God of War Ragnarok. You know by now it's a God of War game. Oh, you saw God of War. You had all the other previous God of War games. Then you had God of War 2018, and then you have the follow-up to God of War 2018, God of War Ragnarok. Like, you don't need to be sold on it. You know what it is.
and like I'm just annoyed because like these people are like trying to like act like they know what they're talking about, and using bad marketing in bad faith to like get to gloss over the fact that like what they really want is just to be IV dripped content
Exactly.
every day.
Like, it's not bad marketing if their game is the most anticipated of the year and has gotten people to spend hundreds of dollars on console covers and custom controllers.
And I would give them the benefit of the doubt if like they weren't having this same conversation every step of the way. Like there are people that are like, oh, why haven't they shown anything for Wolverine, or why have they why even reveal it that early? And I think the thing that people don't understand is like a lot of times when games get unveiled that early, it's like a marketing drive for hiring talent.
Exactly. It's very little to do with the actual fans. Like, they want to give fans a taste, but it's mainly for hiring. Yeah.
Here's the thing that we're doing, and now that we've announced it, we can talk about it, because it's kind of hard to like, oh, we're making a Wolverine game, but like it's under NDA and we're hiring for like a future project that we can't. But no, now we've said, hey, we're making a Wolverine game. Here's a little splash. Get excited about it, and hey, we're hiring. Like, and people don't see that side of it. And another thing is like and the person who said this came from a good place, but like, oh, it's like, oh, well, they announced it 2 years ago, but now the hype has died down. Like, don't pretend that hype isn't going to come back up once there's actually stuff to show. Like, we announced the Elder Scrolls 6, right? Was announced like 4 years ago at this point, and they just entered or
Early
just
develop-
finished.
early
They
development.
just finished pre-production.
That game is not coming out anytime soon. But
Yeah.
fans don't understand it, and don't have that expectations. Like, when fans see an announcement, they be like, "Oh, guess this game's coming out next year." Like, no.
But I even saw a comment like, "Oh, Insomniac needs to hire new people." Like, yeah, because they're probably working on the next Spider-Man game too,
and
number
Wolverine,
1,
and their multiplayer
and Wolverine,
game.
and Ratchet and Clank, and they have something else they're working
They have
on.
they have a multiplayer game in development.
So you don't think the same people are working on all those games at once, do you? Like, are
They
you
do.
really?
Yeah,
So it's like, the
people
people working on Spider-Man aren't necessarily working on Wolverine 2. I'm sure there's some cross-pollination.
Yeah, but they have a separate team. Like the head of the creative director of Wolverine was the creative director for Miles Morales.
So there you go. You know what I mean? And it's just, like there's so much to it, and I understand. Like, oh, just because you heard about it doesn't mean you like automatically get to have it now. You know what I mean? Like, these things take time, and people just don't want to give it. And
yeah. Like, when they announced Wolverine without a release year, I was like, oh, well, this is very early in development, obviously. Then,
yeah, like trust me, we all like the Iron Man game by Motive. Like, they hadn't even hired like a narrative director yet.
Yeah,
when they unveiled it.
yeah, like this is definitely there's definitely a game that's going to be years away, but it's just something for now. Like same with the Wonder Woman game. They had a little sizzle reel for that in 2021, and then immediately, hey, we're hiring.
I know specifically the only reason they showed that was to say, hey, we're making a Wonder Woman game and we need people. I know that specifically because the people involved in that decision talked to me about it personally
That's right.
in person.
They even let them play the game early,
No,
just to test it. They
because there is nothing to play.
wink, wink.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. He has the, but what he means is that there's nothing for you to play, but the JayShockblast build specifically is allowing him to kind of test things out, where it is, how the Nemesis system is interacting and working functionally, and then he relays that to the team and have them continue working on the game. Yeah, like a very very hands-on approach to game development, working hand in hand with the JayShockblast. It's very common for game studios. Mortal Kombat does it all the time. Lego does it all the time. They'll just have Jay come in and just test stuff just to make sure it's working properly and is up to his standards.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
That's
That's exactly how it works.
That's exactly how it works.
Verbatim.
But according to Insomniac themselves, Wolverine is going to get their focus right after Spider-Man's done.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. 21st. It's like, oh, exactly. That's exactly what people are going to be looking for. But I said that to somebody today. I'm like, I think what's going to happen with Wolverine is that they're going to finish their push for Spider-Man, and then a few months after that's out and over, that's when you'll start to see, some little things here and there percolate. But like it's just, there's a process, and they all have these PR campaigns and PR cycles, and it doesn't start a million years out. It usually starts in the 6 to 8 weeks before release that they really start getting into it. Some games go a little bit harder further out, but like I feel like people think that Insomniac has to tweet something literally every day.
Yeah, because they don't obviously they don't understand how any of this works, but yeah, like how aggressive marketing is depends on how big the game is expected to be. Like if a game already has massive amounts of hype, well, you don't really need to aggressively push too hard and spend resources on that, because the hype is already there. Like Hogwarts Legacy did a lot of really good marketing, but they didn't have to go too crazy because they already knew they had probably the best selling game of the year on their hands very early on when they put those pre-order numbers up, when they put those pre-orders live and saw the type of numbers they were getting. They're like, oh well, we can sit back now. we can chill. Like Insomniac is looking at those numbers right now as we speak, and they're like, oh, we're fine. Yeah. we don't need to be putting stuff out every week. So yeah, leave Aaron alone. Let him cook. let Aaron and James do their thing. They know what they're doing. So Sony knows what they're doing. We'll probably get a bunch at the State of Play, and then people, as soon as the State of Play is over, I'll give it like a week. Maybe we'll go back to saying, "Where's the marketing?" So we're going to be right back on this treadmill. So yeah. I was not even worried about it. So, but it's about 10:30, so time to wrap it up for this week. Appreciate everyone for hanging out once again for the Aftershow podcast. We'll hopefully we can get some guests that before I had with the in terms of video game guests, related guests, the potential strike could make things tricky, but we'll see. We'll see what we can navigate there. I know the actors and writer strike has prevented us from getting some guests, but maybe we'll get a home. Maybe I'll ask Johnny Rocker or Deeper Depths if they can join us for the panel next week. That'd be pretty.
So before we go, I shouldn't have said what I said, and I said it here. So the apology should be here too. I am definitely sorry about that. Got caught up in the moment. So just want to make sure that's out there.
Oh, and I'm definitely sorry if I made you feel some type of way. It's all good vibes here.
Yeah.
So I just want to make that clear. There's no official JayShockblast and Stop the Gamer beef. We're not going to have a rap battle.
I will not be Skip Bayless.
Yeah, and don't cancel Jay for arguing with a black man. It is perfectly okay. I know some places that can get you canceled, but but I gave him the pass. so it's all it is all good. We're all fine, and not just saying that because we're going to yell at each other when
that's long. I don't think that's going to happen
when the stream ends.
But I don't think it's fair to have that happen and then like shut everything off and then say it. I mean, I did it in front of everybody. I didn't mean to, and I didn't mean for it to come out the way it did, and I feel like I should say that part in front of everybody. It's called integrity.
That's right, integrity. So so appreciate everyone once again. Subscribe if you're new, ! Join to become a backstage pass enjoyer. We'll catch you guys next week for probably some cool shits happening in gaming. It's a lot about to happen in September, so be on the lookout for that. I'm Sadot the Gamer.
I'm Casual Avenger.
No, you're not. I'm
JayShockblast.
I'm Casual Avenger. Deep dish. Zip it up. Zip it out. Peace.